Hey Visionary! Accelerated Mentorship Program by Dr. Bahati Hilda Sabiti is here to help you unlock your next level of purpose, faith, clarity, strategy, confidence, and wealth. This 12 weeks self-paced course was created for you if you have a burning desire to build an irresistible brand, become a world-class speaker, entrepreneur who is ready to build and expand your brand, increase your impact, and triple your revenue. We have the School of Coaching, School of Leadership, School of Business, training, public speaking, content creation, digital marketing, confidence building, spiritual intelligence, emotional intelligence, relation intelligence, business growth, and character development. If you're ready to make the shift and experience unparalleled growth and stability, then this is your next step. We are located in Kamwalcha, Kira Road, Media Plaza, 3rd floor. Walk in or WhatsApp 0757 117 117. Hey Visionary! Accelerated Mentorship Bahati Hilda Sabiti is here. Next level of purpose, faith, clarity, strategy, confidence, and wealth. This 12-week self-paced course was created for you if you have a burning desire to build an irresistible brand, become a world-class speaker, entrepreneur who is ready to build and expand your brand, increase your impact, and triple your revenue. We have the School of Coaching, School of Leadership, School of Business, training you in personal speaking, content creation, digital marketing, spiritual intelligence, emotional intelligence, relation intelligence, and character development. If you're ready to make the shift and experience unparalleled growth and stability, then this is your next step. We are 117. Hey Visionary! Accelerate by Dr. Bahati Hilda Sabiti is here to help you purpose, faith, clarity, strategy, confidence, and wealth. This 12 weeks self-paced
All right, all right, all right, all right. Okay, so welcome, welcome, welcome. At least we have some good number on the live. Thank you so much for joining us. You'll be telling us where you're joining us from. And we are starting with a chit chat, but we are including you in our chit chat because part of what we're going to do is actually the chit chat, yeah? So that we can follow up and see. Some of you have your phones, so you clearly have sprint number 1. How many of us have sprint number 1? Sprint number 2, sprint number 3. Now we have sprint number 4, right? Want to go back to, at least you tell us your stand, what stood out for you. Sprint number 1, what do you think you actually established? Because remember, these sprints are building on their, right? Yeah, so we are going to go through. So please just refresh your mind, sprint number 1, sprint number 2, sprint number 3. At least those ones we are going to just do a recap, your own recap of what you established, the habit that you established, what you overcame, what you felt when you were doing that assignment, so that we can go on now. If you are online, please, you are welcome to join in as well. Make sure that you write in. I know that most of you have these prints, that is Matilda, and then so many of you, I'm trying to make sure that I can see some of you, but joining us, just make sure that you put into the chat, just make sure that you indicate for us what you learned, what habit you took away, or what you established, what you think you are building upon, that you will never be the same again, the systems, the structures, and the courage, and everything that we have actually talked about, all right? Okay, so I'll be waiting for that feedback, but in the meantime, let's start with those that are with us in the studios. So can I have a microphone, or do we have anyone? Please let me have a microphone. All right, let's start. Where do we start? Someone ready? Please shoot your arm. Oh, I'm just going to go randomly. Should I go randomly? Randomly, right? Okay, then let's start. Let's start. Lavenda, the way you're smiling. All right, let's start right here. Let's write right here. Just tell us your names, yeah? And then let us know your journey of 100 days of becoming. The only thing is that my people here are not seeing you. So if you can please make your way close to me. That would be lovely. Yeah, please clap for her as she comes. Just close to me, yeah.
My name is Joan Kawarunji, and since I started this journey, I actually have followed through journaling. I got my time hearing it, but when Major Coach talked about it, I was like, this is my time to follow through. So I started journaling, and at the end of the day, I would, see my feelings and how everything made me, change a bit for those days that I did that. And yeah, that was it for I followed through that, and I was helped. And even right now, I'm still following through for all these days. Yeah. And then.
That's all right. Go ahead and check.
About the blocking, blocking some hours. I actually didn't know this was like a distraction. You go through the day, you scroll, and you don't think time is moving.
Yes.
But then you have the whole day, and by the time you know it, it's 5, and you haven't actually completed like a full task. But when I blocked some time off, I actually focused and finished that thing, and I actually wanted to get onto the other.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
I'm a fashion designer, and so I'm talking about dresses.
Ooh. You see? That's amazing. And she looks amazing. That is amazing. Anything else you want to share? That's it? Please give her a hand clap. That is amazing. That I will tell you, there's so many, and I've seen it in the world of fashion designers. They have great ideas, great dreams. They even have those, what do you call, the sketches and everything, and then they keep procrastinating. They don't have proper structures. They don't have proper systems. And then they fall behind. So the clients start complaining. When the clients start complaining, one bad client, one bad result to a client goes around, and all of a sudden the jobs now are slacking. They're not coming. But they wanted to build this empire so bad. It is branded, my goodness, branded. Some of them are metallic letters, some of them are white or black letters. Like, clearly you can see that there's intentionality. Now, you can have a very good studio or place that you work at, but for as long as your work ethic is learning, for as long as you cannot block time and stop scrolling, and for as long as you don't stop looking for inspiration, because that's the other thing. You keep looking for inspiration. You are scrolling. You're like, let me see what this designer. So you keep following every designer. You look for the inspiration. And before you know it, it is 3 hours. You have not done anything. Yeah. But you're still looking for inspiration. And you're like, even tomorrow is a day. Do you see that? Tomorrow is a day, and tomorrow, when you say tomorrow is a day, that means you're going into a whole week. And then you start giving excuses. You know, and then we know how to make our children sick, and then we know how to... that happens to all of us, guys. Because you're following behind now, you have to give excuses. But until when? Because you will run out of the excuses, and the truth will catch up with you. Wow, that is amazing. That is amazing. Please, let's clap for her. Lavender, you want to share with us? Please go ahead. Please come.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much.
Evening.
Thank you so much, Coach Bahati. So for me, what stood
Have
out...
you seen Lavender's hair? Aye. Where are we headed? What is that one called? Okay, let's go. Come close to me, please.
Okay. Yeah, so what stood out for me in sprint 1 was stopping overthinking and over-worrying. And I'm this kind of person who overthinks, but I'm working on it. And I remember, I think it was last week, I told Coach Bahati, because me sometimes I have things that I'm going through, and I look at them as very, very big things. But when I come to Coach Bahati and I tell her, she's so calm, like as if God has told her a miracle is about to come, and she's so relaxed. And before you know it, by the way,
It
God
has
makes
worked
a
out.
miracle. Yes. So I've worked on that. I've stopped overthinking. If I know I have to do something, I just do it. Like, for example, even this morning, like after we prayed, I had to make a post, but then I was like, should I? But I just said, no, let me post it now because I'm not going to have time. So immediately after the prayers, I first posted today's post. Then after, I did other things. Then the one for sprint 2, what stood out for me was the mornings. I think right now my body knows, like even on Saturday or Sunday, I just find myself waking up at 4:30. But nah, the body is now used. Like I have to wake up early. I go to our prayer altar with Coach Bahati. I listen to some Nigerian podcast of Joshua Selman as I'm doing other things. Then after, I plan for my day. So now that's now part of me. I don't know how to wake up and I don't have something I'm listening to after the prayer altar. I'm not used to it. So my mornings are actually clear. I know what I have to do. By 10, I think I've finished most of the tasks.
She's
for that
guarding her mornings.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That has helped me. Then, sprint a moment.
It's okay. But have you seen her nails? Hey, you people. You people.
So for sprint 3, what has stood out for me is identity before visibility.
Yeah.
And I listened to it. Joshua Selman, in one of the mornings, he talked about this. Because sometimes we are so eager to be visible, to get the fame. But one thing Coach Bahati has told me, I think ever since I joined the mentorship, not to be after likes. So me, ever since I started that year, I think that was 2019, 2020, ever since I started posting, because Coach Bahati told us, don't focus on the likes. They are going to distract you. I don't care if I have one like. I don't like. It doesn't eat me up. It doesn't take my peace. I just keep on doing it, and it has helped me stay grounded in who I am, in what I do. And before you know it, I'm okay. I'm not after. Like, I'm not eager to be famous. I'm not eager to blow. I think I don't even.
And yet you're becoming famous.
Yes. And I don't even think I even want that fame. And I also want to reach a point where I don't let that take, like, it's not about, like, God, if you want me to blow, that's up to you. If you don't want, that's okay. But as long as I'm doing it, like, it's not even my goal to blow. Let God do it at his own pace. But what I'm trying to mean, I'm at a point where I want to stay grounded in my identity. What does God say about me? What should I post? What does God want me to share? It's not even just about, I think a week ago a friend was telling me, so what, a colleague was telling me, so why don't you post what your people want you to post? Why don't you go back and see how many, like, on your posts, the things people want, like the things that have a lot of views, why don't you focus on that? I told them, no, I will post as God leads me. Sometimes God has led me, sometimes God wants me to post a post for just one person, not for everybody. So it's not about the people, even when I do it for them, it's about God. So if God wants me to share of one person, I will share for that one person. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, some of you are like, yeah, but that's lavender for you. That is lavender for you. All right, so we're still sharing. All of us are actually going to share. Who is pointing at who? Yeah, no. Oh, I thought you were pointing. I was about to say the pointer is the one that should come here. Please come close to me. Give her a hand clap as she comes.
Thank you very much. My name is Susan Karunji. So what stood out for me, or how Sprint One impacted me, is being able to create structure. I realized that I was such an unstructured person. I was every direction and everywhere. As the day comes, as the day goes, phone calls everywhere. Like, just imagine water flowing everywhere. So that's how I was. But I've created structure. I have what I do at a certain time of the morning up to midday.
Wow.
For now, up to midday, and then the rest.
Good. That's good.
Thank you very much. So Coach, Sprint 2, what stood out? Clarity. So the background I come from is mostly like academic. You have to think, you have to read, you have to do what. But I realized some of it was not progressing. I was going backwards because of the procrastination, the weight of the work. But I got clarity in that there are things that I can focus on and the others I can drop.
Wow.
They are not taking me anywhere, so I've dropped them. And with that, I even picked up small, simple articles from just conversations.
Yes.
I'm talking to you, I make it into an article, rather than reading many PDFs and all that. The third one was confidence. I think I struggled with that. I had confidence killers. So I had to address them. What are those things? Perfection, the fear of people, the fear of not measuring up. I had to, I don't care. I have to do this. This is what I have to offer.
Yeah. I'm not people pleasing anymore.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Oh, wow.
Thank you, Coach.
Do you see that? Susan, these things seem like simple, but they are foundational. They are very basic. I will tell you, there are so many people that you think are very high achievers that you're like, oh, those people are up there, but they're struggling with the same thing. Because we are humans, we tend to procrastinate, we tend to think life is just going to move. Life happens to all of us. So when life happens, the quickest thing for us to drop are the systems and the structures, and we start flowing, especially trauma, betrayal, all the things that happen in daily life. Whenever you struggle financially, then you ditch everything, and then you start wobbling, and you start just going in zigzag. And then all of a sudden, the cycle begins again. You feel unfulfilled, you feel hollow, you feel things are not shifting, until now you come back on the wagon. And you're like, you know what, let me go back, let me get back on track. You get back on track, and then after that, you actually get off it. And that is why we're talking about today. Why you keep starting and stopping. Yeah? Because it seems basic. Someone would have wanted to speak big things. You guys are going to be rich. You are going to be... But how do the rich become rich? It's the small things. The compounding effect over time, instead of waiting for one big moment. And some of us usually think there's going to be a moment where I have a big breakthrough. That's not going to happen. Let's get another hand, please. Let's get another hand. Sprint 1, sprint 2, sprint 3. We're just, okay, let's get her, please. Happy face.
Hi everyone,
Hi.
my name is Justin Nakawoya. So let me first share something general. Like throughout the whole sprints, I'm one person that had not embraced the act of journaling. But every day when you have to write something down, from what day one requires you to do, the action you take, like you write down, because coach encouraged us to be writing down. So I'm enjoying it that today morning I went back to read through my sprint one, and I was just smiling because the first thing we did on day one was like pour out your mind. So I was reading through and also looking at how I've been able to progress. Then I was happy that at least I have, like, there is a reference and I know that I'm progressing. Wow. Yeah, so for me, generally, journaling has been something that has come to my life. I feel so happy about it. So from sprint one, I was able to get like clarity, like a lot was in my mind. So through writing and all that, I'm able to understand that actually you're giving time to thoughts that are not going to actually do anything for you. There are better things that you could focus on, because the prompt was write down anything on your mind. So it's one like, wow, why am I stressing over this thing? I will not change a thing about it. There are others give my time to. So that helped me from sprint one. Then sprint two, I was able to come up with a simple structure, like for my day, not the entire day. I started with the mornings because I found myself sleeping in more, and yet I am very active in the morning. So yeah, so I found that I needed to change a thing about that and put my main tasks for the mornings. After my prayer, after the altar, maybe I do my Bible study, then I can kick in with a day's work. So I utilize the mornings better and out of structure. Wow. And also what helped me with journaling is not that I'm planning my day from my head. So when I write down, I'm like, for every day, I wake up and do this and do this. Like, there are those three things that do not move. Yeah. So I'm able to wake up and do those. And if there is something that changes about the next day, maybe there is a task I'm carrying forward, I also add it to my tomorrow's to-do list. So by writing, I'm not just thinking through the mind, because I realize that if I just keep what I'm supposed to do in my head, a phone call can come, which is not even very important, and I attend to it. That's true. Or I run out and do something that I did not plan to do. So that has helped me a lot. Then for the third sprint, identity. You know, like I've
A huge hand clap, a huge hand clap. Yeah, we're going to have another feedback session at the end of today's session, but I will tell you, don't benefits of those small steps. The benefit of those small steps, you're going to see them not in the doing them. Just like I said, it's the compounding effect, that while the habits are accumulating, while now your brain has been these prints do not have too much. Otherwise, through the day, I was like, Kambala, get content, so bawa, wino, mbayire data, so that mbakoye. Yeah, it's not about getting tired. It's about doing one small piece that can stick to your mind. The next time you start zigzagging in your day, you will be convicted, and you will have the small voice inside of you saying, but are you doing the right thing? You'll be scrolling, and you feel like, but you know what? There's something wrong with me, clearly. Let me find out. Now that you know the art of journaling, you'll be like, let me find out what is troubling me. And then now you go through your day, you reflect, and you're like, what triggered me? And you're like, haha, my ex called me, or I saw a post from my ex, and that is when I started the downward spiraling. And all of a sudden, my boss came to me and was accusing me of something, and you're like, okay, instead of responding, and now I started feeling guilty about my reaction, and now my day was done. Do you know things can kill your day? So your day is done. Just imagine if the same things have power over you because you have given them power day after day, and they are slaughtering your day. So that means in a month you only have like 3 sane days. Yeah? Excluding your emotions, excluding who said what. Like, there are so many things that happen. So the reason as to why I love the fact that these prints are building bricks that are building one upon each other slowly is that you get it sedimented. You get it sedimented. And then this week, we had to throw you in the deep end. For some of you, it's not a deep end because you have So for those of you that didn't think it was yours, this is more like waking your minds up and telling you that, by the way, there's something on the inside of you. Find it, and it can be monetized. If you're speaking about streams of income, you cannot just look at your job and say that is enough. For some of you are like, for me, I'm a career person, professional, so I don't want those things of money monetization. Those things are for coaches, entrepreneurs, money digital what? It is not for digital what? It is for everyone, that the gift you have can turn into value, and that value can be a paid value. So the earlier you know it, the better for you, because then you'll be able to diversify. So today we're getting into why you keep starting and stopping. Why you keep starting and stopping. That gets the best of us. And it's not even just you assurance that, by the way, you have it in you. The only thing is you've been starting and stopping. And now we want to break the cycle of inconsistency. We want to break the cycle. We want to bring you to a place of sustained growth, sustained achievements, sustained success. Otherwise, if success is just coming once, if motivation is coming once, if implementation is coming once, and going, if execution is coming once and going, then it's not going to help. So what this session is going to do for us, I want to just lay the preamble for this is a very honest talk, very surgical and very practical. Yeah, where I want you to just have a deep dive inside of yourself so that you can know why exactly have I been, how many of us, because I could be speaking to myself, how many of us have gone through the cycles of starting and stopping? Thank you for now I am comfortable. I'm in the room. I'm in the room of my fellow fighters, yeah? So I'm not clearly fighting alone. So let's break this down amongst the things that we're going to talk about. I want to give them to you so that we can run very fast. Number one, we're going to confront the pattern of starting and stopping. We are going to confront it, and vividly, for a reason. Like, you used to do this good thing. Why did you stop? You're like, life was lifing. Do you see the surface level answers? Why? We do not want to dig deeper because we fear what we might find. Yeah? Because it's going to be quite painful what we actually find. So we're going to talk about the consistency framework. We are going to build the iconic consistency framework so that you go back and start hinging on that and activating that. And then we're going to talk about the emotion and the spiritual triggers. Yeah? Sometimes we think it's only the physical triggers, but we have the emotional and the spiritual triggers that cause us to start and stop. And then we are going lastly to talk about the rebuilding of the momentum and the systems for the empowered running and the sustained running. And I know that it's going to be so helpful in our lives. Did we get all that? The last one is rebuilding momentum systems. Rebuilding momentum systems so that we don't get to a place and just stop. When you're building momentum, momentum has to be protected. Yeah? Momentum has to be protected. So that means all the systems that and the structures and the identity, they are the protectors of the or when you stop doing something that you've been doing and all of a sudden you have to speak yourself into doing it. Do you know that it's hard? Whether you stop going to church and all of a sudden it's a month like you've been using to having lazy Sundays and just stretching, and now you have to go back into waking up early, appear good, making sure that you appear so well, and you're like, oh God, I will do it next Sunday. Not this Sunday. I will do it the other Sunday. You see? Now restarting a habit becomes so hard, but maintaining it becomes easy if you have already started. That is the protecting of the momentum. All right, let's go to the confronting of the pattern. Because we must be able to be very honest when you're confronting something. You must have courage to actually confront it. And all of you in this room have courage. Why? Because you chose to be in this room. That means you have the courage to confront whatever it is, the pattern that had built. And I know that some of us have seen it. You start when there is motivation, when the motivation dwindles, when the accountability. Do you know that sometimes accountability annoys us? Have you ever told someone, I've told my husband before, that keep me accountable because I do not want to take these things, money, ice cream and what, I'm on a weight loss journey. And then when I'm at an ice cream vending machine and he's telling me, but honey, you said you're not going to take ice cream. I'm like, oh God. Please don't guilt trip me. Let me eat my ice cream in peace and then we can talk about the pattern later. Do you see that? So now that means you have actually noticed. And I would just want to ask a very genuine question. How many things have you started in the last 3 years? You started in the last 3 years. How many things? Just look at your mind and how it's trickling down into starting a business, into the ideation process. Some of us, by the way, our dreams die at the ideation process. You have a very good idea, you overthink it and overstretch it until nothing has actually happened. Some of you have started courses. Some of you have started maybe creating content, starting businesses, fitness journeys. Fitness journeys. Nutrition journeys. Oh, I'm going on a diet. And then it becomes like a badge of honor. Like everyone should understand. You guys, I'm going on it's keto diet. Keto diet. I wish that there's a friend of mine who was here and I was speaking about keto diet. Yeah? And then all of a sudden, like I'm going deeper. I am going deeper. But now I want to ask you, how many of those things did you finish? Oh, you don't even remember when they stopped. You're like, I'm going to start dressing up well. Guys, I am going to start like, I am going to be a feminine lady who is going to take care of her nails and look good. I mean, I'm tired of having these nails like a man. All of a sudden, you know, nothing, you're just there. And then all of a sudden, where does it end? You do it once. And when you do it once, you feel so good about yourself. You even take pictures while you're doing like this. And this is what happens. After they get old, they start chapping, they start shifting, yeah? Like mine, have you seen them? And then all of a sudden, you never go back. And then after that, you're like, it's not that serious. It's not what? That serious. And you're like, I'm not a public figure. I'm not a celeb. You know, those things are for celebs. You know, when you say, I'm going to maintain my hair, and then your hair gets dandruff, and it becomes like akumaka kasoli, akakunkumuka, ogendo kakuba akuba mu bantu, bakubuuza lwaki okuba bugumu, lwaki okuba zinsiiwa. Naye nga saloon gye bazinaabira twerabiddeyo. Even if you decided to buy a Miadi or Radiant something and wash your hair at home, you would stop beating it of the house. And then after that, you're like, but I'm not a makeup person. Whoever does not want to look at me should not look at me. Do you know the level of your payment and the level your earning is actually at the same proportion with how you look and how you appear? Yes. So women that appear more serious about themselves and how they look are actually paid more. Yes. That is research. Go back and read it. Search your chat GPT, search your Google search. It is research, and you will find a deeper research about that. No one should lie to you. People care about how you look like. I care. So when I see people putting on wigs of old people, yes, I have seen people putting on wigs of old people. But from the onset, you were like, you know, you just want to look nice. I'm just giving those examples so that I can show you how much. Sometimes we want to look at the pompous things, but let's look at the things, the basic things. That, you know what, I wanted my home to be clean and sparkling. And then I saw these things that when you cook certain ingredients, like like cinnamon, and then you put in some cloves, and then you put in some oranges, that your house is going, and then a drop of vanilla, then your house is going. How many of you have those screenshots in your phones? Thank you very much. Thank you, because it is all of you. So now, as in, what don't you have? Don't you have the gas? You have the gas. Don't you have the cooker? You have the cooker. Don't you have the saucepan? Is the water missing? What is missing? Action. But you keep promising yours. It is the small things. And you're like, they talked about making the bed. From today on, I will make my bed when I'm getting out of my bed. And then every time you go back and look at your bed, and you're like, the tsunami that went out of here. Yeah. This is a proper tsunami. Yeah. But why? We start and stop. How many of the things that you started in the 3 years, 3 years back, or 2 years, or just 1 year? Let's just talk about 1 year. How many of them did you actually complete? Some of you have books that you have only written a half a chapter, and you have never gone back to them. Yeah. So I need you to be able to answer that quietly. Yeah, on your books. Fight with your pens. Have you seen people that say fight with your what? With your keyboard. Please don't fight with me. I'm just a messenger. Fight with your pens. All right? So the silence goes ahead to tell me that your inconsistency is not just about laziness. It is not about laziness. But this is the truth that I am saying in all of this. The misalignment, and we talked about it last time, the misalignment between your identity, your emotions, and your structure. right now, and then the structures or the systems that you have set. Because if you set a system and said, I am going to deal with one thing at a go, I'm not going to deal with 1,000 things, 5 things, 20 things at a go. If I'm going to commit to changing my wardrobe, that means everything I buy going forward is going to be. I bet when you signed up for either LDC or you even just going to campus, you're like, you know, from now on, suits, I'm not buying anything else. Everything corporate. So you decide, they even tell you, you know, my brother used to tell me, you know, only dark colors, even if gray, but it has to be like really dark gray, not a light shade of gray. And you know, if the navy blues and the blacks, nganagula masuti. But the thing is, it's because they are becoming, they are, and by the way, this is what they are trained, and correct me if I am wrong, you are trained to look at yourself as if you're practicing it in school. So do you see how that identity shift switches you, that it starts to control what you say, where you go, and then you will start formulating groups of learned friends. And some of you will say, but they have kajanja. It is not kajanja. It's because you're not evolving with them. It's because you're not in the process of their becoming. Do you know when someone else is seeing how you are becoming? Let me give another random example. Fashion designer. Now in your family, bali bamanyi echala nyo inachiteka munsonda no chisamba no kola obutenji, yeah? And then all of a sudden you get a shop. Teyewani say no. Teyewani say she has a shop. Who is going to pay for that? Does she know the rent in this town? And then you bring butala. Yeah, this. Hey, have you gone to her shop? Like, it is lighting like this. It is lighting like this. And then you brand. Do you know that she has a name? She has a name, guys. She branded. Have you seen her on social media? Have you seen how she's doing this? Now, the reason as to why they are so bitter, taking a poison that does not belong to them clearly, and heaviness that does not belong to them, is because they are not in your becoming process. As in, you have not become that big brand, but you see yourself as that big brand. You're like, if all these, do you call them kochas? Kachas? Hey, Jesus. Embogonji kubye flat. Couture. It sounds funny. Because it has T-U-R-E. So we say future. So for us, when we see it, we read, please don't laugh at me. Yeah, because you've been exposed. Now, do you know that in order for you to become, there has to be a sense of exposure? Because then you have to mark what you want to become in order for you to switch your mindset to that, and then you start becoming that. Do you see the journey of becoming and what it looks like? That I want to be wealthy. What do the wealthy do? Where do they go? How do they put on? Who do they associate with? Auditing and editing your life and taking inventory and creating the structures and creating the systems that enable you to function like the rich. Do we see that? So you cannot become far without a goal. You must have a goal that I am becoming this. And then now you start tuning your life and adjusting your life according to that. Now, the people that are onlookers, the outsiders, the ones that are on the fence, the ones that are not in that moment will never understand you. That's why I said you should never be a people pleaser. Yeah? Put on your suit, put on your high heels, be gula, tambula, look good, and then who thought you were at their level and maybe they would marry you at some point. And all of a sudden, right now, balaba, liwa weruwe tuluberi abasiyibu agamba ono omusiiyo otya nga ayambadde ekkooti. And now they will be like, and they will never even use your batha. They will never use your name, your nice name. They will always go to the one for the lumbe, that one. And they'll be like, nakamanya wamulabye. Do you see the onlookers? the Sanballats and the Tobias of this world. You are rebuilding the wall. You are busy. And then some of them are like, marriage goals. Abatali mubufumbo. They're not going to understand it. They'll be like, kakati, mbo, you making videos on internet, mbo, while simanyo together, simanyo have gone for an outing to call it to tear. It will end in premium tears. Oh, bulogo, premium tiers, Pro Max. Baga seko naka Pro Max. You guys. All right? So the silence about how many of those projects you have finished will show you. And sometimes we don't want to tell people that we are starting. You start on something and you're like, let me start it slowly so that if it fails in the middle, no one can laugh at me. How many of us have started such projects? Me inclusive. I have. Like, seriously. You're like, let me start this dating journey. But I'm not telling anyone. So you tell yourself, ochigambire nyowe, ochizikire. So it stays between you and you. And then, and God. Sometimes we kick God out of ourselves, by the way. And then, all of a sudden, you stop somewhere, there is no guilt. When you eat your big thing of ice cream, there is no guilt. No one knows about your story and what you're fighting with. Yeah, so no one can say. You're not even allowed to say, what? This is my moment, all right? So, the misalignment between identity. By now, you know identity because we shared that sprint. And then the misalignment between your emotions. You're doing things on impulse. You are not regulated. You are not regulating yourself. You need to be able to regulate yourself. All right? And then the structure, and you don't have any structure, you don't have any system, and you're not following. Just like you've told me, we keep writing these things so that we can keep going back to them. This is how I structured my day. This is how I structured what I'm going to put on. This is how I structured which calls I can pick in this time. Yeah? So when you go back to your structure and you internalize it, that means now you have created something that it is more like a formula for your life. So that's why people will say, she's principled about her morning. Do you see that? She doesn't pick meetings. You have already set a structure for yourself, and now people know about it. You're like, Coach Bahati, to find her looking just like that. You get that? Why? She has created a structure for herself that even when she appears at 5 a.m. in the morning, she looks like it is evening for her. She has gone through her day. It is a system that you set for you. Does it take time? It takes sacrifice, guys. For me to wake up and look good, it takes time. Do you know, I take time to pray before I pray, because while I'm leading you in prayer, like, that is not my personal prayer. That means I must have my personal prayer, and then I must look good. I do not just appear on the altar of God looking hovyo, and I'm like, and I'm scratching my eyes, and no, I like full bath, full cold bath. Yeah, some of you will be like, she gets out of bed and slaps on whichever t-shirt. Marathon, MTN marathon, Kabaka run. Without a bra. And then she's on the live. And she's like, take me as I am. We are in prayer. We are punching demons. Why should we look beautiful? Okay, so you are not lazy, but I need you to align those things. So I need you to write them so that everything that is failing, that you're failing to accomplish, you can go back to the foundation and know that your emotions, your identity, and your structure are everywhere. You need to be able to align them in order for you to be able to move. All right? Let's look at the root cause. Most people think actually that you lack the discipline to go, because that is what the top thing that we usually talk about. That is the surface level that we talk about. I think you were here when I was talking about the surface level. One thing leads to another. You know, I don't know what happened. So we have, and then sometimes you're like, I just lack the discipline. I think I need to create that discipline. It sounds nice and sexy, but that's not it. Yeah? That's not it. Now, number one, under that, let's talk about your identity conflict. You're trying to perform like someone you have not become internally. You remember the examples that I gave? If your mind has traveled and you have become the counsel, and you have become the lawyer, and the whole family, do you realize that when someone starts first year as a lawyer at home, they start calling them counsel? First year, first semester, they call you counsel. And sometimes they can even refer and say, we have some lawyers in the family. They don't know what will become of you, whether you will practice or not. But, do you see that? But the reason as to why they do that, the shift becomes so evident. The shift becomes so evident. I speak from experience because I have a brother who went through that. But the shift becomes so dramatic. Like from one person to a totally different person. And now he's my young brother, but you feel like you're giving them a certain level of respect. Yeah? You feel like you can hear them out. You feel like now they're reasoning. But they have not even studied any one book. Or any one case for that matter. But you can feel like, why? They have set the bar, or the bar has been set, and now they know that they are becoming that person. Now, they are performing accordingly. Now, most of us perform without seeing that big picture or the person that we are becoming. So that is why when you get to, I will not say that word, to the people in the designing world, I will call you designers. Yeah, in the designing world, for a very long time they will have their chalani. What is it called? In Luga, in English. A sewing machine. I was about to say typewriter. So, you guys, don't complicate my life. I want my life as simple as possible. So, they will have their sewing machine in their room. In their room. And guess what? They will be getting a job here and a job there. A job here and a job there. And they'll be delivering. And some of them, she does so very good work. And I want you to add this statement. She does very good work. But you know, like she doesn't have a strategic location. Yeah? She has very good work. So even when another person is promoting you, they are giving disclaimers on your behalf. They're like, call her, but sometimes she's overloaded with work, and then sometimes she does not pick, and then Kale, her studio or her workplace is in her room. She works from home. So she can meet you in town and take your measurements, and then she will go home and actually do it. No, we have seen people, we've had people giving those. Now, when a person comes to mind and you tell them, or they join a mentorship like this, and you're like, you know what, find a place and sub-rent. You don't need to rent the whole shop, but find a place and sub-rent. Even in a sub-rented place, you can actually put a very huge branding. Simanyi, which one? What is the name? What is your branding? Jos Couture. Jos Couture, yeah? So you have put it there. So whoever is actually telling someone, oh, she's called this, she's at this place, this is her number, and this is her social media handle. Do you see that? Now you have come from invisibility to a place of visibility. You are starting your journey of becoming. Because after that, then if it were 5 of you sub-renting, you're going to go to a place where it's just the 2 of you sub-renting. Now you have a bigger space. And maybe you can hire 1 more person so that you can do more productive work. Do you see that? Now you are on your journey of becoming. And after that, you get your own place. And now you have like 2 to 3 people. And now
Hey Visionary, Accelerated Mentorship Program by Dr. Bahati Hilda.
somewhere, I can offer them wine while they come for fitting in. I will have rooms, not just a curtain for them to fit in. Do you see a progressive mind? I will have a walk-in room with full mirrors surrounding it that someone can see themselves in the places, and I will have an attendant who will be attending to everyone that is coming to my shop. Do you see that? That I will be getting gigs that fly me out of the country. The wedding in Zanzibar, I did a gown and I'm flying to Zanzibar with my team to go and support that bride. Do you see that? The imagination that God is able to give you, exceedingly, abundantly, or imagine. So that means now, at the level of your imagination, that is what God gives you. But now, we don't understand and we cannot translate that what God gives you is the becoming journey. Do you see that? That he gets you from the lowly places and makes you sit with the officials. But that is the journey of becoming. So now, when you have the identity conflict, that means you can only think about where you are. When they call you for a gig and you're like, now, I mean, you do very good work, but we are going to Zanzibar, and you're like, Allah, I don't have passport. And then, kakati me, I've never flown. What am I going to do? And then you're like, you know what? I'm quite busy. Like, I have so much work. Guys, tolina binji, but it's because there is identity and identity gap. A person who has envisioned will be like, express passport is how much? You see that? And you're like, watch it, nja bigira kunyonyi. Nja kutwala ka amalo gangi. But what? My gift is making way for me. Sometimes we have hindered our gifts from making way for us. Do you see that? So do we have God to blame for that? Or we have our own lack of growth identity? Do you see what I am seeing? That we are standing in our way. A person who has imagined themselves doing that is a person who has gone to these social media platforms and they have seen when, if you're a photographer, if you're a designer, and then you're like, you know what, I can travel for work. They even put a plane. They put a plane and then they say, I can travel for work. They are makeup artists. Makeup? You think in Bahamas where they are going, they are no makeup artists. But because your gift is making way for you, someone wants someone they're comfortable with, that has worked on their face before. So a person like that, the identity is, filling the identity gap is, you get your passport and you're ready all the time. All the time. When it gets expired before you travel, you renew it. And you keep it again. And guess what? You understand, are there master classes about some of these things? And some of these big makeup artists in town are actually holding these master classes. Sometimes, just like I said, with mentorship, you have to serve or you have to pay for it. Serve or pay for it. Tell them, are you taking volunteers? I can be at the door registering people that are entering. Do you see that? But while you're registering, you're getting contacts of people that are interested in what you are doing. Do you see what I'm saying? And then you have the leeway to network with people that have come, that were on panels, they have products, they have product lines, and now you're looking at this big thing, you're coming close to them, you're rubbing shoulders with them. When you go back, you're not going to dream the same. You're not going to imagine the same. You're going to imagine yourself holding the same masterclass. You're going to ask yourself, how much does it take? Where you thought, oh, these guys, I think this masterclass took like 20 million to, then they will break it to you. They'll be like, it took 2 million or to 1 million. It's like, yeah, nangin solo zisonda. So the things that you saw as far, they are coming close. I want you to apply this to every industry that you belong to. How many of us sees possibilities at this point? Yeah? Do you see the possibilities? Even if you pay, and I want to be an artist, you're a makeup artist, but you know the other person has made a bigger name than you, and you're like, no, I'm not coming in as the kafulu. I am coming in as an attendee. What does it cost me? Yeah? When they say, paint your mouth like this, I will paint it like that. When they say, I will do this, and then I will pretend, I will not go and say, now, you know when you were training about this thing, you know this arc is not done like this. Don't take your lugezi-gezi. Go to learn. Even if you know how to draw the arc properly, you go and say, this thing is really disturbing me. Can you show me how? Now you're smelling their perfume. Now they're speaking at you. Now you're seeing the grace with which they are doing things. Do you see that? Tell me that you're going to be the same person. When you go back, your perfume will change. You'll be like, besiga perfume uchi. Yeah? They'll be like, you'll even go and see, let me see, did they give credit? Who was their designer of the cloth? And you're like, I will go and ask, how much? Sometimes you think these designers are so expensive. You will look at someone's suit and you're like, I think they made it for 1 million shillings. And then you go to them and you ask and you give them the designer that you want and they tell you 300,000 or 350 or 400. And you're like, okay, it's actually possible. Why? You did not get yourself there. So I need you to align. I need you to be able to not just look at the top thing, lack of discipline, one thing led to another. No, I need you to come up with the identity conflict and make sure that you actually cover it. Romans says that be transformed by the renewing of your mind. The renewing of your mind. And sometimes faith, not sometimes, but all the times, faith comes by hearing. So when you see, faith comes and you're like, I can do it. I can actually make this money. How much does she make? I can actually make this money. All right? So here is, if identity is weak, your execution is going to collapse. If your identity is weak, if it is shaky, if you are not sure, your execution, you are going to execute at the level of your identity. Okay. So upgrade it, and I will tell you, your eating will upgrade, what you put on will upgrade, even the people you date will upgrade. Wanji? Some of you are dating from a very wrong identity. From an identity from an identity of rejection, from an identity of abandonment. Do you see that? And then you're becoming so clingy. But the moment you shift your identity, you're like, I deserve love because I give love, so I deserve wholesome love. I deserve someone that respects me. I deserve, you will not take less. Why? Because you have upgraded your mind, the renewal of your mind. As a man thinks, so do we see that? So if you think you are kwara, you just deserve these things, you will keep entertaining that. But the moment you see yourself as a high achiever, you see yourself as a dreamer, as a visionary, you see yourself, even the people you entertain, even the conversations you entertain are going to change. So I have given you the formula, right? If I see anyone failing among your stars. What did I say last time? Please don't mention my name anywhere. Don't say, I know Coach Bahati. Just say, I see that woman on social media. I see her on TikTok. Bambi, she's doing me so well. Yeah? So, let me just ask you very briefly, as I want to get out of that. Do you see yourself as disciplined, or are you still identifying yourself as struggling? Do you see the silence? That means we are in between. You cannot speak of the latter, but you don't want to identify with the former, right? So that means we have a job to do, to bridge, to get from the struggle bus, to get to a place where you can say, I am disciplined. Just like I told you, the people in my life, or my husband will tell you that, you know what, your level of consistency, like, I don't know. I've not seen anyone. Okay, there are other people, but you in my life. Like when I start on something, come rain, come. Whether I am sick, whether the voice has refused, I will take all the honey. There are some mornings where I woke up and maybe the previous night I was at church and I was singing and my voice went hoarse, but I drank honey and whatever it is that I need to drink in the night, because I know we have the prayer altar in the morning, and maybe I have a speaking engagement somewhere, and my voice is how I actually activate that is how I earn, by speaking. So I actually decided I'm getting my own microphone. Back then I used to think the people that come with their own microphones are bragging. Right now I cannot afford to, there's someone that has a cough, has whatever infection, I'm speaking on the same microphone, I'm inhaling. Recently I had an inflammation in the throat. So that means, just imagine, you can't speak, and you've been paid. Most of my events I'm paid in advance. They paid their money, good money, and the date has reached, and then you're telling them, you know, I was singing, you know, I was praying, you know, I was casting demons. What kind of kwara is that? No, it's not. So I need you to be able to move from the struggling, even when we don't want to admit it. Some of us are actually struggling, but we do not want. Why? Because we feel that is nowhere I should be. I should be at a place where I say I am actually disciplined. Let's look at the emotional leadership failure. Emotional leadership failure. This is a whole masterclass, guys. This is not about motivation. You did not come to be stirred up. No, you came for execution. Execution. Okay? So most of the times we let our feelings decide our productivity. We let our feelings decide our level of growth. We let our feelings decide our earning. We let our feelings decide everything that you want. We let our feelings decide. In Proverbs 25, it says, like a city whose walls are broken through is a person who lacks self-control. Like a city whose walls are broken through is a person who lacks self-control. Can you relate with that? Because if you lack self-leadership, if you're going to decide emotionally, that means your walls are down. You're not guarded. Your finances are not guarded. Your home is not guarded. Your credibility is not guarded. Your integrity, like everything about you is not guarded. That means anything can happen. Anything can go bad. And that is very, very bad. We can't just dare function like that. So if we want to set the framework for our emotional leadership, yeah, the emotional, where you lead yourself, you lead your emotions. You're like, no, I'm not going to do this. That you have that boldness to say, and you have the courage to say, it looks good, yeah? For example, you think when all men look at, other women, don't they feel like, wow, she has a nice body? Do you see that? But there is a difference between men who are like goats and dogs and men who are normal human beings and intellectuals that are very respectful, not only to their spouses, but to their bodies. Do you see that? Now, that means they don't go according to emotions, because your flyer will be saying something different. Is it called a...
Hey Visionary, Accelerated Mentorship Program by Dr. Bahati Hilda Sabiti. Course was created for you if you have a burning who is ready to build and expand your brand, increase your impact, and triple your revenue. We have the School of Coaching, School of Leadership, School of Business, Spiritual Intelligence, Emotional Experience, Unparalleled Growth and Stability. Then this is your next step. We are located in Kamocha, Kira Road, Media Plaza, 3rd floor. Walk in or WhatsApp 0757 117 117. Hey Visionary, Accelerated Mentorship Program by Dr. Bahati Hilda Sabiti is here to help you unlock your next level of purpose, faith, clarity, strategy, confidence, and wealth. This 12 weeks self-paced course was created for you if you have a burning desire to build an irresistible brand, become a world-class speaker, entrepreneur who is ready to build and expand your brand, increase your impact, and triple your revenue. We have the School of Coaching, School of Leadership, School of Business, training you in personal branding, content creation, digital marketing, spiritual intelligence, emotional intelligence, relational intelligence, business development. If you're ready to make the shift and experience unparalleled growth and stability, then this is your next step. We are located in Kamocha, Kira Road, Media Plaza, 3rd floor. Walk in or WhatsApp 0757 117 117.
Your children have school bags, but you have seen another school bag.
Hey Visionary, Accelerated Mentorship. Dr. Bahati Hilda Sabiti is here to help you unlock faith, clarity, strategy, confidence, and wealth. This 12 weeks self-paced course was created for you if you have a burning desire to build an irresistible brand, become a world-class speaker, entrepreneur who is ready to build and expand your brand, increase your impact, and triple your revenue. We have the School of Coaching, School of Leadership, School of Business, training you in public speaking, digital marketing, confidence building, spiritual intelligence, relational intelligence, growth, and character development. If you're ready and experience unparalleled growth and stability, then this is your next step. We are located in Kamocha, Kira Road, Media Plaza, 3rd floor. Walk in or WhatsApp 0757 117 117.
every day. It can be 2 days a week or 3 days a week.
Hey Visionary! Accelerated Mentorship Program by Sabiti is here to help you unlock your next level of
Can
purpose,
compound
faith,
into a
clarity.
better image, a better image. When you start building your wardrobe, you don't say, do you know some of you what you actually do? This is what you say. I'm just going to pour down everything. I'm getting everything out of my closet. I'm buying a new. How many of us have done that? Don't temunchinde ka munzeka. I know some of you have actually done it, yeah? Now, instead of saying, what are my color palettes? What exactly do I want? What are these clothes for that I want? Because you see a jumpsuit, you buy. You see damaged nani, you buy. You see, everything is just zigzag. But if you decide that this is how I want my wardrobe to actually look like, do you know that you can start and say that every month I'm going to buy one piece? That means it's contributing towards the change of my wardrobe. Instead of saying, I want to take away everything. And then do you know that when you buy so many clothes at the same time, you end up buying what you don't need? But when you buy piece, again, am I lying? Yeah, so the emotion, stop waiting for one big moment. Make sure, apply it to everything. Make sure that you go through the compounding effect, and it's going to work wonders for you. And then some of us refuse to face reality. Remember, we're talking about the financial freedom under emotional leadership. Financial freedom, refusing to face the reality. We don't want to track our spending. How many of us don't want to track our spending? You're like, njazibalira uzireme kwatagana. And you're like, oh, I received money. But I start dividing it. And then now I've divided it. It has finished. Then what? But you're like, if it's in the bag, I never know when it is finished. Some of you are laughing at yourselves. You're like, you get to 15th, and then you look through your bag, you only have 10,000. And you're like, life will go on. I will figure it out. And then you figure it out for the next 15 days. And then you go back until you wake up and it is the 5th day of the month and you have nothing. And you're like, but money. Do you know that you can have money? And it just goes out of your hand like that. It just passes through your hand like that. Did money pass through your hands? It is lack of systems and structures. It is not understanding the compounding effect of one boring act. Some of you, when they promote you or when they increase your money, you're like, oh God, you've been eating here, now you're changing where you've been eating, the place you've been eating. Now you're changing where you've been buying clothes, because now the demand has gone there. But the thing is, when they make an increment, that should be money that you say, let it go towards saving. I've been surviving the way I am. If I want bigger things, let it go through saving. Unless you're telling me you're reinvesting it so that it can be more productive. Do we see that? Yeah? So make sure that you face reality. Start apportioning your money. Start creating the budgets. Start tracking your income. When you look back and you're like, I bought this and then I bought this, some of them you'll cringe. You'll be like, now why did I buy this? Like, why? Why is it on my tracking system? Next time, when you see it, you will run the opposite direction. You're not going to buy it. Do you know some of you addicted to buying plastics? Plastics, yes, and especially women. Containers, you can, yes, banangi. Like, is it a demon in every woman? Like when you go and you see colors, blue, yellow, red, and what, and then it's not plastic, but it is a bit plastic, and it just looks cute. It just looks cute. And then you're like, I am going to bake, even if you have never baked in your life. When I'm going to bake one day like this, and then you buy a baking bowl, and then because you have seen these things on Instagram, I'm buying a bowl where I can put some grapes and put on that table. You have never had grapes in your house, but you are buying a bowl of grapes. Obanye tuloga. Quality supermarket understood the assignment when it comes to tempting women with plastics. They will have a full range of all colors. You will get there, and I think we get there and we get the adrenaline. The adrenaline of picking half a dozen of this and a quarter dozen of this, and if you have children, it worsens. You're like, they will eat in a bowl, and then one day they will eat in a straight plate, and then all right? So you see, refusing to face reality. If the plastics are appearing on your budget every month, you're like, you know what? I think now I'm an addict. I'm not addicted to alcohol, not drugs, but to plastics. And some of you are buying flowers from Chinatown, left, right, and center. Ogule cha blue, no gule cha yellow, no tebikwatagana no bitusa no gamba na ye. Why did I buy all these colors? Next time you go back and they have stocked, you do the same thing. Yeah? So you see how we are actually failing ourselves. And the last one is buying feelings instead of assets. Your emotional leadership and emotional intelligence, which is the identifying and the managing of your emotions and feelings, you have thrown it out of the window because buying gives you dopamine. You feel excited. Yeah? You're like a young kid when you look at the supermarket like this. You're like a goat that has seen lights. Eh? You're like, and Jesus Christ. I'm not saying it is bad. But what I'm saying is emotional regulation, emotional leadership. You cannot just bump into things like that. You can't. Because they give you dopamine. No. And then after that, the happiness disappears because then it becomes usual. Now you're chasing for another. Do we see that? Now we are chasing for another thing. Like you're seeing hair on Instagram. The reason Australia have not bought that hair is because we think it is expensive. We are going to buy 50 wigs. Like today I want to look like Barbie. The other day I want to look like who? The other day I want to look like who? Let's go back to our mulamwa for that day. Let's go back to our mulamwa for that day. Yeah, so you realize that emotional leadership is very, very important. If you fail, that means your productivity has been curtailed. So this is how it starts. The emotions, it starts from the emotions. Number 2, it goes to the behavior. You have the emotions, of excitement. The behavior of buying the plastics. The result of leaking financial and money. Yeah, you're losing money without knowing. So if you don't manage your emotions, that means your behaviors become very unstable. At your emotions. I have gotten to a place where God has helped me to get to be in charge of my emotions. Back then, I would also do things randomly. I would look at, a blouse comes, a shoe comes. But these days, you don't lie to me. When I decided that last year, I am not buying any pair of shoe, last year, I did not buy any pair of shoe. When I decided this year, I am actually not restocking, I'm not buying any, I'm not restocking my wardrobe. Yeah, I am only buying pieces that are needed whenever there is a need. Because according to my work, there are times when I have the need for something. But buying for like everyday use, putting on, because I have a show, a daily show, no. I was like, all the viewers are going to watch the same clothes that I've been putting on until July. That is when I am deciding I will buy anything. And that decision started last year in February. So I've completed a whole year of being careful and not buying anything. Do you see that? And you cannot imagine the things I've been able to do. Because the money that was going there. Do you know having the number of someone that sells things and every time, bring this, bring the other. You send them pictures. And like if you're buying something, yes, you're going to use it, but to what end? All right? So I need you to get a hold of that. Yeah? And then the root cause we talked about root cause number 2. Yeah? We talked about root cause number 1, that was identity conflict. Are we together? Are you following? Number 2, we said emotional leadership failure. And then number 3, we have perfection paralysis. You start strong, you hit imperfection, you withdraw. And the cycle goes again and again. How many of us have seen that cycle in our lives? You start strong, you hit imperfection, and then you withdraw. So you keep asking yourself, why do I start and stop? Why do I start and stop? It's because when we hit imperfection, that is time for us to recalibrate. That is time for us to keep going. That is time for us, but that is not time for us to quit. But we read it so quickly that I want things to be perfect. So if it's imperfect, I'm going to withdraw from it so that I can start another one. So we think when we start another one, it's like coming out of a relationship where you were just in the honeymoon phase of the relationship. And because someone has started telling you that, you know, when you come close to me, there is a certain smell that comes from your mouth. I don't know whether it's a brushing issue. I don't know whether it's a stomach issue. I don't know what it is. And you're like, Lola belulina na kajanja, ina no mutu munene uli just sagulaba. And then, yeah, because you have hit imperfection and you expect in your head that relationships must be perfect, you run out of that. So you think it's easier to start another relationship. And yet, this is a place where you'd have said, I understand what you're talking, but your approach has not been that good. But I'm going to investigate. I'm going to work on it. Do you see that? That you've hit the imperfection, but you can skip over the hard of imperfection by the staying power, yeah? Staying on the course. Just like I don't remember where the Bible says that if we keep watching the wind, we will never sow. We will never do anything. You see that? Because you're waiting for perfect conditions. I'm waiting for the rain to start coming so that I can sow. I'm waiting for this to start doing. I'm waiting for people to start noticing me so that I can create the content. Do we see that? But it never pans out the way we actually want it to pan out. So you waiting for perfect conditions is actually killing you. That is why you are starting and stopping. Root cause number 4, lack of systems. We've talked about this. Motivation can be seasonal. It is seasonal all the time. It is seasonal. But when you create systems, those are structures. They are in place. They will even convict you. They will remind you. And they will pop up when you actually least expect it. So, what systems support your confidence in this season? What systems support your consistency? That's what you should be able to ask yourself. Do you have the structure for your day? Do you have the system for shooting content? Do you have a system for batch creation? Do you have a system for getting content, understanding your niche? Do you have as in what systems have you created? Let me tell you, when you create systems, you make your life easy. So create the systems. I'm not going to say that for so long. Let's go to the framework. Consistency framework. Yep. I told you we did not come to joke. We did not come to joke. And we are not forgetting about our online audience. Please, I hope that you're moving with us and you're doing the work together with us. Yeah? Because when you have a framework, that means you tend to follow it step by step. Now, this does not mean that everything is going to apply in this framework. This is just to give you something to start with. You can create your own framework. And this framework is STAY. S-T-A-Y. S-T-A-Y. And number 1 is small commitments. The reason as to why the sprints that I'm giving you are not ambiguous, I would have given you a full book. Yeah? For 7 days, I would have given you a manual to read so that I can be like mbapise information, you know? Bagenda chijjamu enjawulo. But I know from experience, if you give me that much work, I'm not doing it. If you want deep work, give people small things. So if you want to do things, be productive, develop, become, start with small commitments. Stop overcommitting. Some of us, when we talk about content creation, you're like, ha, ngenda chikuba wiki ku wiki, 7 days, mugenda kundaba. Do you see that? When you start saying that, you know what, I'm going to change the way I put on. And then you're like, you know what, day by day, you watch the space. Every day I come, I want you to look at me. I want you to see me. Don't overcommit. You can start with a Monday and say, Monday, this is going to be my dress code. And perfect Monday. Yeah? And take on Tuesday. And say, what is the feel for Tuesday? You take on small commitments. You can't say, someone says, oh, I'm going to save. And you're like, 90% of my salary is going to savings. How many of us have done that in the past? And then now you start spending from the savings until the savings are depleted and you're in red. Instead of saying, you know what, let me take off, when I take off the 10% for God, the tithe, and then I take off maybe the 10%, let me see, what other things that must I spend? Now, you are taking a small commitment. But chances are, when there is something that has happened, a gig that has come, more money that has come in, you're like, you know what, I'm putting it in the savings. Now you have created a discipline. So small commitments, stop over committing to things. You're promising your husband, this house is going to be sparkling clean every day of the week. But you can say, you know what, on Sunday, I'm going to do thorough cleaning. On weekends, I'm going to do thorough cleaning. During the week, the school runs and everything, it becomes so impossible. So we can only do the, surface cleaning. But in the weekends, we can do the deep cleaning. Do you see that? But you can swear, I'm going to do deep cleaning every day. Every time I come back from work, I'm going to do deep. Do we see that? I am going to be washing every day. That is how you want it. It's not about what he wants. It's about what you can do sustainably. Because you will be in the same quarrel the other day. If you say that you want to diet, you cannot say, I am taking a dry fast of. Do you see that? As in, start by reducing your portions. Don't overcommit. Reduce your portions and see how you can be able to progress. So if you say you will post daily and you can't sustain it, please reduce it. Whatever it is that you start, the speed that you start and you can't maintain it, reduce it. It's okay. You are allowed to do it because consistency beats intensity at any point. You can be intense for one season, but consistency is the small boring acts that compound over time. The T, the time blocking, you already know it. Yeah? If it's not scheduled, it's not happening. If it's not scheduled, it's actually not happening. So I want you to just design a 30-minute daily execution block, or a 1 hour, or a 2 hours, depending on the kind of work that you do and what it necessitates. Just design 30 minutes or an hour, and sometimes it can be 30 minutes with a break of 5 minutes, another 30 minutes with a break of 5 minutes. So you work the 30 minutes without interruption, and then you are allowed to scroll for 5 minutes. That is like your reward. Do you know the dopamine that you get there with your finger like this? With your finger like this. When the 5 minutes elapse, you're like, I'm back to my timeout. You go dive in for another 30 minutes. That means you will do a lot of work by the end of the day. All right? So be very careful. Making the most of every opportunity. Make every single day count. Every single minute count. Some of us are doing it the reverse. The A is accountability. The A is accountability. Isolation feeds inconsistency. So, who checks your execution? And this is where I want us to have accountability partners for those that are in Iconic 2026. Accountability partners. But I hope that we can actually be serious. We can actually be serious. So Riba is going to draw a schedule for accountability partners so that you can be able to, but though we want to be able to have you maybe do a bit of things that are close or things that you want to work on that are close. We did that schedule last year. Some people we actually helped. Yeah. So if you want us to repeat that schedule for this year, please make sure that you inform us. Riba can come up with something and we can, but who is checking? Who checks your execution? Two are better than one. When one falls, the other lifts them up. If it's in prayer, if it's in content creation, if it's in home management, if it's in fasting, if it's in whatever it is, brand building, if you have, all of you, I'm your accountability partner. Some of you do not see me as your accountability partner. Monziruka kemi sinde, muwewe nyuke misinde, mulinga bebagoba. Come to my inbox and tell me, this is what I am doing. This is what I want to do. You see? As in, let's just, even if there is nothing much I'm going to tell you, most of the times, but for those that have come, I know Susan usually comes to my inbox and I can see she's on track. I am not correcting her. I'm not giving her a whole lecture. Some of you are like, Coach Ono will lecture me, will give me a long paragraph of lecture. No, I don't be lecturing anyone. I just encourage you, and sometimes I will tell you where to put more emphasis. Yes, but with a lot of softness. I do not lecture people. Please, you speak on my behalf. because others, it seems they are fearing. So accountability, yeah, at least you know that. Then yield to structure. That is the last one. Not mood, yield to structure. That you know what, whatever I have put down to do is what I am going to do. I am not going to say today I don't feel like it. I'm not going to say today I am off. I am not going to say today so and so made me angry. No, I want to do what is on the structure. What have I promised myself to do? That is why having an accountability partner is good, because you can't tell them, you will tell them, today modu tezabadde kwagenda goberera modu. That means you're not going to amount to anything. What is your goal for this year? What do you want to achieve? So now you feel challenged, now you're going to go back and do something small. Why? Because someone has actually challenged you. So you don't negotiate with your feelings. Full stop. You don't negotiate with your feelings. You show up tired. Yeah, you show up nervous, you show up imperfect, but you show up anyway, because action is what creates the momentum. Do you want your business to gain momentum? Action. Do you want your brand to gain momentum? Action. Do you want your spiritual life to gain momentum? Action. Yeah? Ask yourself, what must I do? The one thing that moves the needle. Stop doing the things that don't move the needle. The one thing that moves the needle. And I know that it will help you a great deal. How many of us have gotten that? Okay, let's just repeat it very quickly. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. You yield. Now, yielding, some of you have not. Do you know what yielding means? Yielding is submitting without questioning. That means I am sold out to you. For example, I can wake up early in the morning and tell you, and not wake up at 5. So you guys wake up, you'll be waiting for the link, it is not coming, for the prayer altar. And then I all of a sudden wake up at 9 a.m., yeah? And then I'm like, hi guys, sorry, I wasn't able to wake up. Like, it was just a very lazy better. Let me tell you, I feel like I have cut myself in a million pieces. At my level of operation, with my busy, should not be me to wake up at 5. But if I have yielded to a system, I do not feel waking up. Sometimes I make up while I am frowning, but I will make up anyway. Yes. Sometimes I switch on the lights and my eyes don't want to adjust to the light, but I will switch on the lights anyway. So it's not about the mood. It's not sexy, and no one is paying me to do it. Do you know that some of us procrastinate on things that we are paid to do? Like someone pays you to do something and you procrastinate on it. You have not yielded to a structure. And then we are saying, God, bring bigger deals. Bring bigger deals where? If God can trust you with a small, then he can trust you with a big. God cannot be mocked. What you sow is what you reap. When you sow lack of diligence and lack of structure, he says, let me wait. Let me sit and wait until you pull yourself up. Then I can be able to bring the bigger projects. So now for you, you start shandering and praying. And you think praying is going to twist God's hand. It is not going to twist. Knock, you will. So you do. I will bless the works of your hands. For you, you are there. You have works of your emotions. So he will bless the works of your emotions. Because you're going to become more emotional. Whenever you see people that are doing better, you're like, that one. She's driving a Range Rover. You think a Range Rover can come from a designing house? She has so many, what are they called? Sugar daddies. They've not conjured another better name for sugar daddies. Investor, blessers. Yeah? And like she has, let me tell you, there are people that have worked. There are people that started in corners and they started in arcades, verandas. There are people that started and now they have full-fledged studios. And they have, some of them have full factories and cloth lines. And you put all them on very willingly and gladly. Why? They did the work. When no one was seeing, they did the work. All right? Okay, let's go to the emotional triggers. Masterclass still ongoing. I know some of you will be like, Major Coach. And this is the part where I ask you what's making you stop. What's making you stop? Let's face it together. What's making you stop? Identify what makes you stop. And at this point, I need a microphone. Yeah? Identify what makes you stop. Let's get the hands very quickly. Anyone? Uh-huh.
Thank you, Coach. So for me personally, it's been handling the emotional drainers. Currently, I'm nursing my mom, and like every medicine we've tried, she's not coming back to herself.
Yeah.
Every week she says, now I'm back to vomiting, now I'm back to this. Like after talking to her 1 hour, I just fall down. I'm like, everything I'd planned there goes
It's
back
collapsing.
to the drain. And so I'm really struggling to handle that. And
Now that's categorized as stress. It's an ongoing stress. Yeah. So now when you identify that, there is a certain amount of grace you can extend to yourself, but even the small blocks of time, you utilize them with a lot of intensity. Do you understand that? When you get a small break, you apply so much, because then you know the other big part of it, you're going to be drained and you're going to be stressed. But if you don't identify that, that means your whole day can be dead, and your whole week and your whole year can be dead. And they ask you, and you're like, last year, the whole year was about nursing my mother. But remember, you still have bills to pay. That means you still need. So now there's a part of you that has to. Do we see that? Yes. Another one.
Unforgiveness.
Unforgiveness. Unforgiveness. Hey, the emotional triggers that is making you stop. Sometimes when you think about, the people that did something, or someone who said something, and you keep rehearsing that, and you keep rehearsing that. It's eating at you. It's consuming all the time, but you're not seeing it. Do you know that it feels sweet just to dwell on it? And then you're thinking about what God can do about them. The thunder that will hit them is still boiling, and it should boil more. Kumbe, you're taking the poison, but you expect the other person that you've not forgiven to actually die. But they are not dying. And every day, they're showing up on social media. Hi, guys! And you're like, okay, let's go.
I think one of the things is comparison.
Oh, yes. Oh, my goodness. My emotional common triggers, comparison. You look at yourself and what others are doing, and you're like, I am joking. Some of you have even published your pages and unpublished your pages. Some of you have taken them to private and you have brought them to public. Yeah? Why? You look at others and you're like, people are running. People have all sorts of cameras. They put them in their houses, in their cars. They have ring lights. They have all these things. But a journey of 1,000, a nice background. And some of you oversweat it. Go to your bad background. But shoot content anyway. That comparison that, oh my God, I think I just need an apartment. One day when I visit my friend, I will take content for a whole month, and then I come back and do what? And start posting kamuku kamu agambe gundi ali bulungi. This is not about living a lie. This is about living our authentic lives. Comparison. That's true. Let's go.
Mine is, I don't know how to say it. I think it's overexcitement at the start. You even have a plan, you plan everything. Then after you're like, I'm fat. Then you chill. Then you start again, then you start giving excuses.
Yeah. So you see, the dopamine collapses. When it collapses, it goes with every dream and everything she had planned to do. And guess what? You never even go back to that paper. Even when you see it, you frown. You're like, well, what was I thinking? What was I thinking when I was writing things? Was it me or was it another person? But it was that longed to be better. It was you that longed to be better. But the emotions are short-lived. The excitement is short-lived. It's what we talked about, that you start a relationship and everything is going good. When you hit a hurdle, all of a sudden, you withdraw. Now, in that case, when she starts thinking about the work that needs to be done in order to get what she wants, it's like, so let me ask, in order for me to save, let me say, 3 million for a year, I must be able to keep this money. And then it will be just 3 million like this, just 3 million. My can't just send zange. singa zibadde zigenda kubeera nkaaga oba kikumi nandigambye yeah, I'm doing something significant. Do you see that? When reality sets in, then you're like, no, it's going to be harder than I thought. When the reality of waking up to work out hits in, you were excited, but now you're like, even tomorrow is that day. Working out nga webali. I have seen so many people who don't work out. Let's get one last one. Yes, please.
Mine would be clinging on to the past, like you don't want to move on. You'd be like, it will still happen, so why bother?
Yeah. The comfort of the past. Actually, sometimes it's not the comfort because you're not comfortable. Half the time you're earning small money, you're not comfortable. But what we get accustomed to is the familiarity. Because it is so certain. We have gone through that, we have lived it, so it is predictable. But now, you want to take me into another level where it's uncertain. So that I'm putting myself out there, I'm creating content, and then because I want to make a lot more money. But I'm not so certain that people are going to come. So the work itself is hard, but even the outcome is unpredictable. And you're like, nah, yeah, I am so familiar with this small thing that I had because I'm so sure it's coming. It's like how people get used to income or salary, I will say, a salary. And you tell someone that you doing the same thing, you can actually venture out and have more clientele, but you can take on, let me say, a commission based. Do you know that someone can say, I want my clean money coming in a month, even if it's 500,000. But those things of telling me that I get gigs and I get things and then I commission based, because chances are you can multiply that income by 50%. Or not even 50%, by 50 times. Why? Because now you're self-driven. The other time, you are boss-driven. Right now, you are self-driven. You're like, you know what? I want to earn more. So how many more clients can I get? Can I create a brand? Can I be out there doing this? Can I negotiate how much I am getting? Can I negotiate at 20% instead of a 15%? Now you are more creative. You're coming alive in your element. Most of us don't want to come alive because it is unpredictable. So we want to stay in the shadows of bakutolerako, bakuwe, because you don't want to do extra work. Do you see that? The comfort, yeah? So now we have seen the comparison. Some of us, it's the criticism. Yeah? Some of us, it is the criticism. Have you seen how she's speaking on social media? Have you seen how she's doing her business? Have you seen how there are people who even, by the way, will you get into a company and then they will be like, you see, she's now over delivering what tugambe tutyambo company ya jajjawe yatusangawo wano naye ajja kubeera nga ffe wanji. Even in prayer it is there. Tasuwa session iyo na asaba twasaba dda katulabe ebyamagero gye binaamukomya. Do you see that? Criticism, yeah? And then low engagement. For those of us that are on social media building a brand, low engagement, you're like, people don't like this, they are not, I don't think I can ever be like, these people are just encouraging us. Low engagement. And then financial pressures. When the financial pressures kick in, the first thing is it becomes a trigger to just get you off the routine that you have been, or to actually stop. Remember, we are identifying the reasons as to why we stop. And then for some, it's the relationship stresses. Yeah, the relationship stresses. You just begin to think about your person, where they are, with who and what they are doing, and kaboom, you have stopped. You have pressed pause for the whole month. You are thinking about that one thing. Or even when they give you their reasons, you don't believe in them. Instead of telling them, I don't believe in them, you start rehearsing those same lies again and again and again. Yeah, and then for some of us, it's the fear of judgment. Gambaha, what will they say? People's opinions. What will they say? And all of a sudden, you're backing out of everything that you are supposed to do. You are stopping. But remember, while you're stopping, the ones that are judging, half the time, some of them are doing nothing. Because let me tell you, no one that is growing can have the time to judge. No one that is becoming can have the time to judge, because they know how hard it is. They know how hard visibility is. They know how hard saving is. They know how hard putting on well and sustaining it is. They know how hard everything good is. So while you are doing it, that is why you'll find someone and they only have one thing. Whatever you're doing, keep it going. And that's all they are telling you. But a person who is telling you keep it going is a person that is either above you or is also struggling like you, but they want to become something. One that is beneath you, the best they can do is get stones and stone you. One that is beneath you, they don't have a vision, no dream, the best they can do is yekoza, yelaga. Kati abera ku social media oloza nno teyatandise kwetunda. Yakateekayo ebifaananyi ateekayo ebifaananyi bw'ateekayo mumwa gwa pinki bw'ateekayo ogwa yellow bw'akolayo ng'atadde akoze bw'ati simanyi yakoze photoshoot olowooza bano bagundi ab'e Kampala si be bakola photoshoot kati mama olwo naye yeeyise socialite. Do you see that? Talina kyali awulira bubi. So now for you ne bakusuuza akayanziko. We're like, you know what? Let me tone it down to be understood by people. Don't tone it down. Don't be apologetic. Keep doing the things that you are doing. So we actually identified that this happens in 3 ways. Number 1, you get triggered. Number 2, you think about it. Number 3, you withdraw. You get triggered, you think about it and dwell on it, and then you withdraw without even thinking. Do you know some of us don't say to ourselves, let me stop doing it. Let me stop this business. Let me stop creating content. Let me stop showing up. We never get to speak it. We think it, and because of the result of our thoughts, as a man thinks, so he is, now we pull out the fire. Before you know it, you start going to work late. Before you know it, you drop your reports late. Before you know it, you're no longer praying. Before you know it, why? It is responding to your thoughts, patterns. So if you don't interrupt your thoughts, so now that means the power that you have here is not the trigger. The triggers are going to come anyway, right? Let's accept it. The triggers are going to happen. The criticism, if you don't want to be criticized, go back to your mother's womb or die. But for as long as you're still living, there is a mouth that is always going to climb somewhere. That someone will poke their nose where it does not belong. And that is okay. So now you cannot interrupt the triggers, but you can interrupt the thoughts. When you interrupt the thoughts, then you stop the sabotage. When you don't interrupt the thoughts, when you think all the downward spiraling of, I don't want to show off, I don't want to become too much, I don't want, and you pull out. The moment you interrupt it and say, you know what, I'm not going to shrink, I am not going to make myself small because I want to stay in someone's life. If they don't want to stay in my life, let them be it. Blocking is one of them. When you interrupt your thoughts and you're like, but why am I letting them access my content at this stage? Let me block them. But I am going to create every day. And after I have become a big brand and I have gotten a breakthrough, I will unblock them to come and say, omwana yali asaga yatandika asaga wano na yesebo ebintu bivuddemu ebintu ebyamaanyi. Do you see that? The same one who was stopping you and criticizing you now is the one clapping. God says that he will set the table before our enemies. But some of us want our enemies to die. That is what we are praying for. Let them die, let them vanish, because we don't want any triggers, because when they trigger us, we don't have the power over our brains and our thoughts, so we are going to self-sabotage. It's automatic. It's not automatic. You are more powerful than that. You have a right over your thoughts. So take captive of every, and pull down every, and do what? You guys, that's it. You take captive of every, that means you have the right, and God knows it, that you have the authority. You can actually do that. So just a very practical exercise I want us to do. I want you to write down your main trigger. Yeah, your main trigger. And then number 2, the lie you tell yourself when you're triggered. Because that is the thought. You will never, sometimes you don't speak positive. How you capture that thought is you replace it with a positive one. But most of the times we start with a negative one. So number 2 is the lie that you tell yourself. about that trigger. You're like, but I think they are right. I think I've gone too much. I think they have a point. They prayed a lot and nothing happened. Then it's better I stop praying. Yeah? Do you see that? And then number 3, the truth you must replace. And say, you know what? They lived their journey. I'm also living my journey. Do you see that? They lived their journey where they prayed and nothing happened. Now, if I must follow them, that means I'm going to get exactly the results that they have. Why don't I do me? Why should I do them? Let me do me. So now, number 3 is the truth that you must replace it with. Because you can't just take away the thought. You can't quiet it down and you can't just smash it. What you need to do is to replace it. You tune it immediately. And you're like, what did they say? Yeah? And then you're like, when they told me, some of my OBs and OGs, they told me that, now you're on social media, now men are going to come after you. Or they said also, I think she's frustrated. I think she's being too cheap. Bambi, Facebook had just started. And I also didn't help the matter because I did a photo shoot. And that photo shoot, guys, I told you about the photo shoot. The Bam Bam was the other side. And then I had this many, I would show this side. And then like, hey, you know those first photo shoots, Hey, lubadde lugendo ddala okutuuka wano wentu say. Like, so when they looked at the pictures, they were like, now, what is going to become of this one? They even didn't know what I also didn't know what I was doing. But the thing is, when they told me that, I replaced it with, I'm building something, and after some time they will actually see it. And indeed, they actually saw it. And now they refer clients to me. They refer companies to me. But if I had stopped and they're like, kakati, she's starting now. She's like those women that put their pictures on social media. Even if I was writing captions of relationships and healing and, wounded traumas and what, they would not read the caption. They would only see the picture. So they bakusuza kayanziko. Have we understood what the practical? The practical? Yes, I'm not going to ask us to share because it's going to take a lot more time, but I need you to write it. Did you actually do it now? Your main trigger, did you write it? Just give me 2 people. Give me 2 people. Because, I want us to see the progression of this because when you apply it, you will win at anything. Okay, let me see a hand that is ready. A hand that is ready. Your main trigger, the lie that you tell yourself.
I want to be understood and I like quick responses.
So you want to be understood, the lie that you tell yourself?
Maybe I'm too much.
Yes, too much. And then what must you replace it with?
It's a process.
It's a process. Yeah, it is a process. And that means the process, I might not break this process. I started somewhere, people don't understand me. People usually don't understand vague things. While we're in the building process, you're building a shell of a house. Will anyone understand what kind of house you're building? You're not. While you're doing the pillars, do people understand that it's actually going to be a flat? No. It's until the first slab, and she's actually there. She's continuing, and the second slab, and now they're asking how many stories is it going to be? Do you see? But now we want people to understand it, to understand us at the foundation. You're digging your foundation. You want people to understand that this is a bungalow. So when you understand that it is a process, you give yourself grace. You're like, I'm going to stay the course. Number 2, someone else, hand up. Yeah, there's a hand up right there.
Fear of judgment.
Fear of judgment. What lie are you telling yourself?
Maybe I'm not yet ready. I'm not yet, perfect, good enough.
Yep.
Yes.
What are you replacing it with?
I'm going to do it unapologetically and ready, unsure I'm going to do it.
I will show it. And I will not apologize for showing up.
Yes.
Naze siddayo. Kati oba mundabako bitundu, oba mundabako kwota, oba tebikwatagana byenjogera, bijja kukwataganira eyo. Ate biba tebikwatagana sina bibyo. Maybe there is someone else who is making sense out of it. Yeah, I like Lavender's outlook. It says, maybe I'm supposed to create content for one person. Maybe that particular thing is for one person. Why should I look for the whole world to like that one particular thing? Maybe God placed it on my heart for one person, and maybe it's going to deliver one person. All right? So now, you know that. Let's just rebuild the momentum very quickly. Yeah? Let's have a reset plan. A 7-day restart rule. Yeah? A 7-day restart rule. When you fall off, do not just disappear for 3 months, because this is what we do. When you fall off, you disappear for 2 months, for a month, for 3 months, and then you ghost yourself, and then you reappear like the Walking Dead. You reappear and you're like, zoom, I am back. And then you don't know where to actually start. All right? So, according to me, you are allowed to fail. You are allowed to fail, because you're going to fail. You're actually human. But you're not allowed to stay down. You can get off the track, get off the track of fasting, of praying, of building, of creating content, of running your business, of your health, your fitness journey, your marriage, whatever it is, you are allowed to fail. However, you are not allowed to stay down. What does the Bible say? And? Do you see that? So every time you fail, understand that it's okay, I'm human. Sometimes I'm going to fail, but this is not where my journey ends. I must rise up and do it again. I must rise up and try it a different way. I must rise up and seek counsel somewhere else for someone to tell me. Because when you go through the 7-day restart rule of, I cannot go beyond 7 days. When I fail, I don't go beyond 7 days. I restart within those 7 days. According to research, your mind, is still within the time frame of redeeming yourself in 7 days. When you go past 7 days, it stops becoming just a failure and you have sedimented it. Now it is moving back to your brain, that now it's no longer at the front. Even the convictions become, some of you know, the conviction becomes slower and it becomes more silent. Why? Because first day, the conviction was there. It was loud. And you were just putting it off. The second day, it was loud. You were putting it off. The third day, it was loud. When it clocks to the 7th day, and you're not doing anything about it, your mind, it just speaks to itself that whoever we are speaking to does not seem to be responding. So now let's take off this task of this woman and take it to the back. Now it's like a computer. The analogy, clear analogy I can give you. A computer, a laptop with all the open windows. Yeah? Some of you love using those laptops and computers minus locking the windows. You want every time you log in, all the windows are open. You were searching for something. Now, this is what happens. Your window of execution stays open, is archived. Not deleted, it is archived. That means when you go to a conference, when you sign up for such moments, when you come to such teachings, that is why some of you remember the archived files. And you're like, oh, I had that idea. Coach has talked about it. Let me go and resurface it. But resurfacing it is harder than because it is outside the 7-day window. Do you see that? So while that conviction is still on, get back onto your health journey. Get back onto proper nutrition. Get back onto prayer. Because then you still have the momentum. You're still fresh. And then you're like, yeah? It's like coming to church after so many days. You're like, how is the pastor going to look at me? But if it's within that time window, you're like, oh God, I can give all sorts of excuses. I can say I was sick. I will find something to tell them. But if you disappear for 3 months, and you didn't even tell us. Yeah. So the 7-day rule. Do we get that? Get back on track. Do not exceed. And then you can have the 90-day focus filter. Instead of chasing everything, choose one primary focus for 90 days. Instead of chasing so many things, choose one, not 5, not 6, not 7. Choose one primary focus. And say, I am going to dwell on this. So if it is execution like we are doing for this 100 days, and you're like, you know what? Execution, I'm going to choose one area that actually pulls all the other feeders. For example, when you say I'm going to push the financial feeder, finances don't bring themselves. They come out of something. So it's either your career or your gifting or whatever it is that you do that actually when you push it, that means your finances are being pushed, and so you can be able to have so many others pushing themselves instead. So choose one thing that moves the needle and make sure that you push that. When you push that, the others, you'll find that it's easier to actually work with them or even go through with them. So the one ask that I will give you right now, if you could do just one thing, win in only one area this quarter, what would that be? If you could win in just one area this quarter, what would that be? Because that is very important. You think about it and you're like, oh, if I can push this further, it is going to help me. Because when the momentum comes in one area, the momentum flows in other areas. But when you lack momentum, then all the feathers are down. Ask yourself, if I'm to win in one area this quarter, for the 90-day filter, the other 90 days you can touch another. The other 90 days you can touch another. That means by the time the year goes, you have actually evolved in so many areas. Does that make sense? Do we have some questions? Yes, we have some questions. Please, let's ask the questions.
Thank you, Coach. My question is, if can I say you've been on social media, but have been not very active, so you decide to be active now. And you're measuring maybe on Instagram, but then after you realize all your posts are being shared on Facebook to your Facebook account.
Yes.
But you had abandoned it years ago.
Their Facebook account.
Yes. So do you go back and delete those old pictures?
Now, it depends on how the old pictures are. If the old pictures were, I missed you last night. You know those poses that we used to pose with your colleague the other side, you know, and your ngokulo busubi. No, but sometimes for me, I like keeping such things because then it gives me a measure of where I'm coming from. Like after some time, I look at them and I'm like, oh my God. You look at it and you're like, so this is how far I have come. Indeed, it has been a long journey. That means if it's not contradicting with what you're doing right now, because what you are doing right now, you are building a brand that number one is inviting attention. It is building trust. That means credibility. So if something is breaking your credibility on those posts, delete it. If it's not breaking your credibility, you can leave it. So credibility is the mark that when someone sees you and they're like, she's my coach. If that picture ever came up and that post came up, will they be embarrassed to call you their coach? If they are not embarrassed to call their coach and it's just normal life, you were just having fun as a girl, you were just having your normal life as a girl, that is very okay. Because then we also want to understand where did she come from to get to where she is. And we cannot just rely on your words. Sometimes we want to go back and dig the archives. So if it's not denting your credibility, go ahead and leave them on. Edit only those that are denting credibility in one way or another. Waliovuma exi. I'm just giving a general example. Yeah? Or it was a night out and you were drunk, stupid, and they took a picture of you, but by then it looked hot. Because it was a group thing and what, and now you're like, no, this is not the kind of picture that I want to leave up here. Yeah? So whatever it is, you go back and just clean up. Not deleting everything, but just clean up whatever you need to clean up. Yes, please.
Thank you. My question is on the idea of you having a good brand, because just in line with what she said, because I don't want to be limited by perfectionism.
Yes.
Because I want to do something, but I also want it to be good.
Yes. So
where do I draw that line that I make sure I'm not avoiding to do things because I'm using perfectionism as an excuse, but I'm also getting things done.
Okay.
And also the things looking good. Yeah.
Yeah. Where did you draw the line? And I know that has failed so many people from building brands, because every time, and you know, the perfectionism is usually in our minds. actually, I have seen so much content that is not up to standard, but this person is so funny. This person has their own storytelling or narrative, that their side of themselves that I really like, and I'm following them, Adam. Like, every day I must be able to see what they are doing. Why? It's not that they have perfect pictures or perfect, but they have mastered the art. So can we start with mastering the art? Master the art of public speaking, master the art of shooting the videos, of just the flow of the content. Yeah, because some of us, like, should I start with, hi guys, how about we start by being ourselves, comfortable in our own skin and not wanting to be like anyone else. And you're like, if you want to say, Mwasuze Mutia, this is me, and today this is where we start, we will be hooked by that. We'll be like the Kanokan to K. That will be an identifier. But we seek to be so familiar, like so similar with everyone, that we have lost the authenticity. Yeah? So where you draw the line is, you must be able to take it to another person, especially if you are a perfectionist yourself. Yeah? To take it to another person and be able to find out. And a person you trust, a person that is not wanting to criticize you, to bury you, to put you down, but a person that has also reached somewhere. Some of you have sent me your videos, and you're like, oh my God, my face, I did not have proper makeup. And I'm like, it is enough the way it is. Put it up there. Don't open the page again until tomorrow. And then come back with one eye like this. And see how many views you actually have. But why? Because at this point, it's not about impressing. It's not about impressing. It's about you building your muscle. And building your muscle, your consistent muscle, is more important than you having a perfect picture or a perfect kind of content. So care about people enough to give them something. Becomes nervous. Even those that have done it for 100 years, 70 years. When you get to a huge podium and you're looking at people, you become nervous. Do you know what makes us nervous? It's because we care. We care enough to deliver something good. We care enough to want to touch their hearts. We care enough to want to meet them at their point of need. You're like, what point is it for me to appear? And someone goes out of this room and they cannot even remember one thing that I said. So I care enough to read, to research, to prepare, because I care. Do you see that? So because you care, take time to prepare. Take time to master. Take time to do, even with that phone, make sure that you get the best picture out of that phone. Do you understand it? Not kumala gakola. Let me just do anything. But in that part, do to the full extent of your level of excellence right now with what you have. Not with what, I will hire cameras, or that will cause you to procrastinate. Don't. With your phone, as in, what is the best picture quality I can get out of this phone? Because when you are faithful with that, when you get a better phone, you will actually be more faithful. But there are people who have told me, coach, when I buy iPhone this and this, like this way, papa, you're going to see content. I'm going to be like a content factory. And then when they get the phone, nothing. And then what happened? I got busy. What happened? So the issue was not a phone. The issue was them. So do you understand where you draw the line? Care about people, to give them something valuable, to give them something impactful, transformational, yeah? And within the time frame of their attention span, not something too long. And then you've mastered the art of speaking, of convincing, of persuasion, yeah, of creating the content. And this is where I am. They will grow with you. And after some, we saw you when your camera was dark. But you're still here, 20 years. You get it? That means a lot. That means credibility. That means you can be trusted. Has it answered that? All right. Okay. Any other question? Yes, please. We have another question here.
Coach Bahati, on the emotional part, I want to be like you. Like, I think I shared with you last week. I sometimes come to you with my issues, and you're so calm and relaxed, like as if God has showed you that her testimony is just around the corner. So how do you, and you don't panic, you ever calm, like, I've also seen you in situations that I had and you don't panic. So how do you go through things, all things happen, and you stay firm, you stay grounded? How do I get to that level? Thank you.
I have lived long enough. Don't laugh, guys. I have lived long enough to go through my fair share of trials and tribulations and hard knocks and, all those things, and still figured out I'll be alive the next day. I'm not going to die. If I didn't die then, because there are situations you go through and you hope you die. And you're like, oh, tomorrow I'm not going to wake up. And then you wake up. And so you learn that, by the way, this thing called life, you're not going to die because you want to die. You're not going to die because of a problem. No. Tomorrow is actually going to be better because you're going to be wiser. Not because you're going to have more things, but you're going to be wiser. You will have learned more knowledge. And then you will have a wider perspective. Have you gone to houses where you used to stay and you see the house is too big, and now you go back and you're like, what happened? Now, when your mind enlarges, it never shrinks back to go back to its original size. So the more, when you bump into this, like you hit a bump on a road, you realize next time when you're approaching it, your brain will remind you that there's a bump on that road. Do you see that? Now that is wisdom. That is knowledge. That means your mind expanded and it did not shrink back. It still has the memory of that mistake that it made. It still had the memory of that exchange. It still had the memory of that betrayal. It still has the memory. So you are wiser, but does not mean that your life will actually discontinue. So, and then the other thing is, I have learned to trust God with all my heart, just like the Bible says, not leaning on my own understanding, acknowledging him in all ways, like even in the smallest thing, acknowledging him, that he will direct my path. Yeah? So I believe like everything can be figured out. I believe, I will not have food today, and I will have food tomorrow. That is how I grew up. I didn't know where school fees would come from. I didn't know whether I would have housing for the next day. I didn't know whether the next day will sleep at a witch doctor's place. I didn't know whether the next day will be in a store or will be sharing a decker with my brothers and sisters in a store with goats and ducks. When you grow from such a muscle, there are certain things that stop intimidating you. You're like, even if right now, even if everything collapsed and I went back to staying in someone's store, I will build my life again. Why? God has showed me that he's faithful enough. I have built with God before, I can build with God again. So nothing intimidates me. Whether it's an empty pocket, it's an empty stomach, whether it's a relationship that is shaking, I'm like, shake all you want. You will come to a standstill. Shake all you want. Yeah? Whether it's a heartbreak, you get it? You're like, you can be broken into 1,000 pieces. Siva kulavu. Do you see that? Like that unshakable confidence. Only God can give it. But the other thing is, the things that you have seen in life train your muscle. That you know what? I will see the next day and I will see another day. And so you live by faith. Yeah? You live by faith. And then God has never lied to me. I have lived by faith and he has always proved himself faithful. So when I tell you, I'm not usually minimizing what you're going through. No. I usually know that it's going to, like, I know that book launch is going to happen. So whether what happens, and for me, like when you tell me some of these things, I'm like, it's okay. Let us reach that day. Let us reach the night before. And you tell me the whole is not paid. We cannot fail to get that money. Do you see that? So for me, there is nothing to panic about. There is nothing to panic about. Let's see how the days go and how they unfold. Let's give God a chance to work. And when things have not come through, he will still give us the wisdom to find a way. And before you know it, they have worked. Yeah? And before you know it, you have not self-sabotaged. Because do you know that when we panic with self-sabotage, even those that would have helped us, we either abuse them, we either put them in their places, we give them our 2 cents, a piece of our mind that is sharp. And then after that, we sit and we're like, okay, now where are we going? What is happening next? All right, anyone else with a question?
Yes, please.
Yes,
Coach.
please go ahead.
Thank you, Coach. So on this part of the 90-day focus filter,
Yes.
I was wondering, within these 90 days, can you take breaks? Let's say you have one focus area. Say, for instance, yielding to structure.
Yes.
You're like, structure is what I need to build. Can you take breaks, say, for instance, on weekend, Sunday? I'm like, the structure I had over the week, it may not work on this Sunday.
Yes,
So
yes.
if I took those breaks, is it going to break the
consistency,
the momentum, or the persistence? Thank you.
Okay. No, it does not break the momentum. Guys, our brain is so intelligent. Guys, human brains created AI. That means we are super intelligent. The only thing is we cannot access all data at the same time. That is why the supercomputers cannot, because we have fed them the data. You think it's just thinking, it has a thinking capacity, it has a brain? No. There are all sorts of entry points of this data. They have used Google that has existed for the past how many years? So all that data is fed into that. So when you search something, it comes through. So I want you to respect the brain so much that when you tell the brain that we are taking a break or we are changing the flow for the weekend, the brain already considers that and configures it in your brain. So even when you do an off thing during the weekend, your brain tells you, this is not what we were supposed to tell. This is not what we are supposed to do. Lwakuba tulina emputu nga abantu. Ate emputu tugikolera ne kufeke nyini tetugikolera kubalala. On us. Yeah, but the thing is, when you say, for example, I don't have the prayer altars in the morning on weekends, yeah, and that is, according to my brain, I'm like, I am sleeping, I am resting, yeah, I'm coming down. So even after Friday, I'm like, yes, now I have earned this. I take the 2 days, and when Sunday evening, my brain wakes up again. Now the week has started. In the morning, you must be able. So our brain, if you can be able to go with the leading of your brain, you will see that it automates things. The only thing is, we just don't want to be automatic. We are used to so much randomness that our brains fail to catch up. They're like, you know what, nakamate yande seda, kamuleke. Ngezako mutunuzeno, agezako kutunuleri. So please, take the break when you need to take the break, and when you dive in wholeheartedly. Okay? We had another question.
Here.
Yes, please.
Thank you, Coach. So my question is, over here you said if you could win in just one area.
Yes.
I believe the challenge for me has been you have so many ideas, you try some, you end somewhere or they fail, but somehow you are stuck on all of them.
Yes.
So it becomes a little bit difficult to zero on that one. Because you find that you can be trying to work on one for like 2 weeks, a month, and then you drop it. Meanwhile, you've already done some work.
Yeah.
And then you jump onto another, and then you keep moving back and forth. How can I get to like just zero on one?
Just give me 2 examples of projects that you have multitasked.
So I did the doctor's mentorship.
The course? Yeah.
And somehow,
Yes, it stopped somewhere.
And then I wanted to do the product business.
Yes.
Of course, I did a lot of background research, searching about the product, writing down the business
so you
plan,
did
trying
some
to
work
even
on it.
order, and then yes. So for now, it is these 2 that somehow I can't
zero down. Okay.
So I be planning, kind of moving, and then I fall back. Then I just pick up the other.
All right. And some of us don't just have 2 projects going or windows open. We have like 5 windows open. Yeah. And this response is going to help all of us. Now, when you get one project, you do it stop somewhere, and you have not dissected to understand why did it stop. Sometimes it stopped because you did your part, but maybe the other part needs to be played by other people. For example, you go to a place of recruiting people for the course, and maybe people were not as forthcoming. Do you see that? So people are not as forthcoming. You get distracted, you get discouraged, and then you withdraw. But the thing is, when will you ever build a course or a program that builds momentum? At the part where you were supposed to withdraw is where you were supposed to go back and make sure that you re-strategize how you create your content, go back and build your brand better, go back and start going to those people and places where they are, ask for pro bono services, to give pro bono services to different hospitals and talk to the doctors, talk about personal growth, talk about beyond success. You know, you have a whole curriculum that you can talk about, priorities and all that. While you are getting into them, you're getting contacts. People are seeing you as the expert, and now they want to come for the more that you actually have for them to build better brands and all that. You're giving them something to hook them, but now they are coming. Now you have 1 or 2 people or 3 people, even if 5. You deliver to the maximum ability, like you're delivering to 100 people. Do you see that? So now you see that where you branched off from and got out is where you had to build the momentum. So you didn't build. That means now you will start from 0, build again. So when you face resistance, it is your sign for you to go on instead of you retreating. And then when you say that there is this other project about the product, that's because you moved from one and got to another. But I will tell you, even if you had built this momentum, you could still have time to do the product business. You could still have time to do the product business. But if you had given this program 90 days, let me say the 90-day filter, and you're like, every single day of these 90 days, I'm going to have a content plan. And this content plan is to get people signing up. I will have created enough awareness for the next program. Do you see that? Now we are reframing the lie that we talked about. The lie is no one is going to buy my program. But how you reframe it is, if I don't get people signing up, it will create awareness for my next program, and my brand is growing, and I'm getting more following, and people are getting to know what I do. So chances are, when I bring filter, is that when you hit the imperfection pothole, you still go. You still ask yourself, how can I climb over this wall? How can I go around? Or how can I penetrate through it? Kama mbaya, I must keep going. I must get the clients. So even if I'm giving them a free pass, I'm like, let me get 10 doctors and just give them a free pass. When I give them this content and I outdo myself, they're the ones that are going to tell others. Do you see that there is always a way? There is always a way. But when you look at it one way, you're like, I'm not gaining from this. So you stop posting, you withdraw from everything. Now you want to start product. You are the same brand. So how is the product going to be? What is the awareness that you're going to create if you fail to create the awareness for the course? Do you see that sometimes we take our failure to different projects? We skip with our failure. We are the same people. We are the same denominator that is failing everything and every project. But we are quick to say, this project did not work because of this. That's why I say, when you have a 90-day filter, and you go ahead to the nitty-gritties, have your content calendar, have the days that shoot your content, do all these things, give the pro bono services, go to, as in, say, God, I'm going to do everything in my power to get this project started. And after 90 days, even if it does not pay off, look back and say, wow, that has been quite some work that has been done. Right now, I shoot better videos. I speak better in public. There is so many things to gain, even if you don't gain sign-ups. Do we see that? Does it help? Okay. Yes.
Yes, thank you, Coach. So on the 90-day sprint, if the confusion is, if I want to focus on something for one day, mine is blocks, but that block has 3 things. Won't they be 3, or I need to focus on just one?
Okay, for the blocks, the time blocks.
Yeah.
In a day.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I have my work block, but under there, I have 3 things I need to do.
Like?
So I need to post one thing that grows the company.
Yes.
Then I need to I need to work on one thing that grows my visibility. And then I need to, where's my third one?
Do you see that people have structures? Yeah? They know what kind of content they are going to. It grows their visibility. It grows, something. So they.
So and then one action that serves me.
An action that serves you.
Yeah.
Okay. So you realize that when you handle all the three things in one block, the temptation for you to be distracted gets so high. It gets so high. When you handle and say, I'm going to post on social media, I'm going to do one, and I will give it 30 minutes, or I'll give it whatever it is, an hour, and then you reward yourself with a breather. And then you get onto another task. You reward yourself with a breather, you get onto another task. It's easier to complete and not jumble out your brain. But if you do them all at the same time, it's like, I want to finish this. Yeah? I want to finish this. Now, it takes a person that is really disciplined. There are so many times where I have converged three things at the same time. And on these days, I feel a lot of clarity. I don't have fog on my head. So I do one thing, I still feel energetic. I go to another thing, and I'm like, Nachoka and Chimale. I feel energetic, and I go to another thing. And I finish it before the time that I have set. And I'm like, okay, so now I have time for other things. But that's when you feel energetic. You don't have any brain fog. Like, it's a good day, and you feel you can do it. But if it's those days where you feel like, okay, the momentum is not that much high, then handle one thing, rest, handle another, rest, handle another, so you can have up to 3 time blocks that you set for yourself.
Yes, that's okay. So can I do that for 90 days so that it becomes my habit?
Definitely you can do that because that is a whole system. That is a whole system that say that, you know what, if I do this, then it's going to become a part of my second nature, that every day I do these things without a doubt. And then I'm going to see the result at the end of it. Because then that means you're putting all your energy, your concentration, and your focus. You have other tasks to do, but these are your priorities. So you set the block for them, and then you concentrate on them for 90 days. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? We just have a few minutes to go. No questions? All right, so if we actually don't have any questions, I just want us to, you're right, I love declarations, because when you declare, you are warming up your brain, all right? Yeah, when you tell yourself and you're like, actually, I don't have a discipline problem. It's my identity that I must be able to put right. Now you know one thing that you need to be able to actually change. And then when you start like an inspired person, you must continue like a committed person. Yeah? When you start like an inspired person, you must commit like a committed person. You must continue like a committed person. And just say, you know what, I'm going to be consistent. I'm becoming structured. I am not quitting. I am recalibrating. I do not shrink, and I adjust and continue. Whatever comes my way, I adjust and continue. And consistency beats intensity. So I am going to be consistent in everything I do. Because when you look at it in all honesty, your starting is emotional. We all start because of dopamine. We start because of inspiration. We start because of motivation. But finishing is maturity. Yeah? Finishing is maturity. Do you still have the microphone? Okay, let's get her the microphone. Yeah? So, the man or the woman your vision requires does not disappear when things get hard. Let's make that agreement. Let's agree that the man or the woman your vision requires does not disappear when things get hard. You keep going no matter what. So I need you to adjust. I need you to refine. I need you to continue. I need you to stay the course and make sure that you finish what you started. All right? Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, Madam Kathy.
Yes. So, Coach, I want you to maybe guide us, advice from your experience. So you are saying something that you have to become that person you're envisioning. You start dressing like them. So I got a reflection. I was like, but you know, that's what I did when I was starting out in my career. And then I became HR manager when I was just 27. And I'm like, why aren't I doing that same thing? Is it age?
No, we get so complacent, and then we get used to things, and we think, that one served me back then. It cannot serve me now. But the same power that it possessed then, why did you dress that way? It was not a matter of mimicking and putting yourself there. It was that imagination that you had, that I belong to the boardroom, that I belong to the leadership, I belong to management. I am not going to just be a subordinate. Do you know there are people that have mindsets of being subordinates all their lives? Everything they do will show. But people who have a dream, an imagination of becoming something, you will also tell. The way they put on, the time that they come, whatever it is that they do, how they speak in meetings will actually show the kind of imaginations. So we can tell.
So I was wondering, is it an age issue? that I didn't feel like that now.
That now you can't do it. Now, it's really not an age issue, but sometimes when we become too understanding and too wise, we start reasoning things. Do you see that? We start reasoning things, and then we are like, and then some of us, visions and dreams start shrinking. Have you ever been in a place where you don't have money and you worked hard, and then when you got money, and then you have the money, yes, you are working, you're still getting the money, but it's like you don't have any dream coming next. You don't have any vision coming next. The hunger made you dream. But now you are comfortable, and I think for some of us that have been here long enough, we had Coach Namudu, the one that was saying, but Coach, kakati me, I have all the money in the world, but I just feel like my life is not moving. As in, you could see she's struggling. She's like, I am not as visionary as I was. When I didn't have money, I would work hard, I will show up, I will do all these things that people, now that I'm in a better place, there is a way, like, I feel there is a fog on my, like, I have settled for this kind of life that I actually have. And remember, I've said that you can't settle for that life because there is no middle ground. You're either falling or you're going up, because things are changing at a neck-breaking speed. So that means you must be able to fight. Do you see? A reason to fight. Now, some of us hoard money. When you start hoarding money, you keep thinking, I have 100 million on my account. Why am I working? Even if they terminate me away from this job. Do you see that? You are hoarding, but when you say, I'm actually investing that money in the money markets so that it can compound interest, that means I don't have readily available cash and I need cash. So I am going to make sure that I work myself out of the system because I need to be able to have cash. It's not a problem per se, but you have created a need for yourself. Sometimes it's because you've become too comfortable. When you become too comfortable, now you're like, I can afford everything. And now you're like, so why am I really fighting? And now when you test the outside world, where you're not fighting for boards and position as CEO, right now where you are, you look at CEOs and you're like, that is no longer my size. Do you see that? She has surpassed that. So that means now, it takes a lot to inspire her than to inspire someone who is still growing. So that means now you must be self-inspiring, nothing else, because you can literally punch holes in everything people are saying. You've been in management, you've been in HR, you've supported other organizations, so you know everything at the back end of every company. No one can tell you anything. So you know the bad, the ugly, and the good. So right now, it's about you saying that, you know what, in order for me to create this kind of wealth, in order for me to create this kind of legacy, in order for me to make this kind of impact, actually what touches you more right now is more impact than money. More impact than money, because money pulls, the impact pulls the money. It's a reason, purpose that as to why I'm here on earth. So get me busy, get me speaking engagements, get me training opportunities, those are the things that tickle your mind and tickle your fancy. It's not about how much am I going to get. You get it? Yeah, so you work yourself out of there and you set yourself, you create difficult situations for yourself. You're like, this month I'm going to speak in 12 companies. Come what may. So I'm going to write the proposals, I'm going to send them out, so that you put yourself in a place where you can be rejected or accepted. Do you see that? So now you have a task to convince them, you have a task to persuade them, you have a task to show them that you're the best person for the job. And now the more you do that, the more you're pushing up without intending to even push up. Does it make sense? Yeah. All right. Okay, and was that our last question for the day? We have 8 minutes left. Was that our last question? Yeah, if that is our last, let's have that mic.
There was a time there's a time you talked about that, like, who you are is who you attract. The time you attract, you say that if you don't have a vision, if you have low quality thoughts, you're going to attract a low quality man. Your wedding is going to be low quality.
Everything.
The hospital you're going to give birth to is going to be low quality. Even the even the bedsheets where you're going to up. So I hated it. So that's what really stood out for me. And you challenged me to even think higher. Like, I have to dream. I can dream bigger. Dreams are free of charge, and I don't have to.
Yes. What stood out for you? Let's move. All of us have something to say, even if it's one.
What stood out for me was identity. Where would I start from? Even personally, I think for me, everything that I do, I used to do before. It was for those people that I love and care about. And so, for example, sickness would just throw me off. When she talked about stress, your parents are sick, your siblings are,
everything defines you.
Exactly. And I think last year I just broke because you've held on, you've prayed. Like you said, I'm that person where discipline comes easy.
Yes.
But I think my identity was shaken to the core, and I was just like, God, I'm done trying. At some point I just said, the beauty is that they know Christ, so I know at some point we shall maybe meet thereafter. And I think when I came to that place, I think I reached the end of myself, so to put it, because for me, even when it comes to ambitions, it does not make sense for me to achieve so much, but when I don't get to celebrate it with the people
you love.
Yes. And I don't really have children. I have children that I take care of, but like not like a biological family. And I think they became the one reason as to why I was holding on. But then I was looking at my parents, I was looking at my siblings, and the times when you're praying, but
life does not make sense.
Yeah, and you've not prayed for 1 year. I was fasting at some point. I was like, you know what, God, I'm not even trying. I think I first came here last year. There's that session you had that was free. I didn't even cut off my hair.
Yes.
Because at that point I was like, God, I'm not even trying.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not trying because you've literally touched what is very core to me. And I think I started to redefine that because I've always known God, but just to, I think, dig deeper to understand Christ. Because I whereby you also pour out to other people, but time reached where I was pouring out, but I was empty. I was pouring out, but I was empty. Literally, I came here to just cry. I'd seen the poster somewhere. I'd been like, I usually, like, I've prayed. You've prayed on the carpet somewhere in church. You've been to places of praying. So when I saw the poster, I knew there was going to be prayer or something. So I was at work and I was wrestling between.
Let me go and cry.
Yeah. Then a colleague of mine who, as if that knew what I was going through, is a colleague, but is also a friend.
Yes.
So he just told me, and I'm not really so comfortable in big groups per se. And he just told me, I was like, okay, I'm going to go, but I know there are going to be people. He just told me, no, go because you're going to meet God. Like, just get your mind off of the people that you're going to go. So I just came, I said, like, the one thing I think for me, I thank God for is that I'll show up. I'll play maybe like a gospel song, but now time where that was not holding me anymore. So I think towards the end of last year, I started to go back to the place of identity because my ambitions had died, my zeal to pursue anything had died, because I was just saying I won't get to live this life, these things that I want with the people that I care about. Yes, I pour into other people, but then I also...
This matters.
Yes, this matters to me, and it's like at the heart of who I am. And so for me, when you speak about identity, it's something that a journey I started to walk with God, where I was saying, God, now I just want to
redefine this for me.
To redefine this for me, Like to the point where when I said I didn't mind whether maybe, say for example, that time my dad who was in hospital where we had finished surgery and everything, it was not because I didn't care, but I just said I'm tired of holding all of this.
To be strong.
Yeah, to be strong, yes. And so I started to I was also reading scripture at that time, but I think when you're having pain, you can't even you can't should I say agree with the identity that Christ, that Christ, but I just kept showing up. If I read my scripture, blah blah blah, because I'd given myself a challenge like 2 years ago to go
through the Bible,
cover to cover, So I kept showing up because I said maybe God you will. So I'm telling you, I came here. My goal, people are talking about dreams. Me, I just come to cry.
I know. And how did that turn out? Did you cry?
No, yes, I did. But I think also whenever I pray, tears just come.
Yeah.
Tears will always just come.
And that's one way of healing.
Yeah. And I'd also been to a place where maybe you've tried out mentorship.
Yeah.
But as if your problems are too many, then the person runs out. Actually, one of those weeks you prayed and you were saying people whereby the mentorship just, and I could relate. But I used to wrestle with God because I was like, but I give so willingly to others. Why don't I get that same? So I even approached the mentorship, but with caution, like this thing of I know they may try now. But when I came here, I just got to a point where I said, God, I was doing a course at church, evangelism class. And you know that full armor of God, I brought it out. There's that part where it talks about the shoes of readiness to share the gospel. So I was like, but God, everything, the praying, blah, 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 what is it? Then I got to a place where I just told myself, sorry, I'm taking so long. I got to a place where John 10:10 stands out for me. It stood out for me when I was doing one of the discipleship classes at church. But then I got to a point where I was asking myself, this abundant life.
Where is the abundance? Exactly.
Yeah. And so I just told myself, I think it is well, right? I was like, even if life never changes.
It is well.
Yes, it is well, and you will still be God, right? And I think when I got to that place, I don't know. I think I was open
something
to
turned.
Yes, something turned. So I just said I will write like, I think Amanu talked about a meme.
Yes.
Yes, I just like, I will write it as like, even if life never changes.
Yes.
I will just write about how this abundant life is still possible.
Yes.
Regardless of the circumstances, the peace that you will have.
Wow.
Regardless of what you're going through.
That's life changing.
It does not necessarily have to be material and stuff. You know, I'm an auditor. I've left a report there that is due tomorrow because in my mind I was like, you know, there's a work that you do, but like it does not give you. I love people,
life,
right? Yeah, but it does not like give you life per se. And I was stuck in it. I cannot leave it because you have people that look up to you, or you also have bills that you're footing. In that time, you're taking care of the people that are sick in hospital. I study at the same time. So it was a lot. It was a lot. So for me, I think
God redefined the identity.
Yes,
you're still on the journey.
Yeah, and so I will not tell you that even when you're talking about content, I remember when I walked in, you're talking about how some people don't. In my mind, I was like, you're talking about me. Because I just don't like to put myself, I think, out there. Yes. Actually, I think for me, attention makes me stop.
And yet you have it in it. So I'm going to laugh at you. 2 years from now, I am going to be at the front row seat laughing at you. Because have you seen how much of a global speaker she is? Have you seen that? And have you seen how coherent she is and how relational she is? And now, me, I don't like visibility. And then I'm in an evangelism class. Kwe gamba. That devil is dancing to heaven.
The evangelism class, I think there are two things that have always held my life is to love God with all my heart. So I think I am big-headed, but when it comes to God's things, I try to...
So God will get you to create content. Because you're not big-headed to him. So were you going to evangelize to Jesus?
No, I was reaching out to people, but they were like, more like, go find someone.
That is also visibility. You're like, look here, the cross, the cross of Jesus.
Yeah, and you talk to them and that kind of thing. So anyways,
I'm loving this.
For me to because even when I came, I was really praying to God. When I saw the flyer last year and I was wrestling, and I was like, God, should I go or not? Because I don't want to be in a place where you're not leading me to.
Yeah.
I'm actually very critical on whom I choose to follow. Because I would want to know what's like the foundation of
that person.
Yes, of this person. Yeah, and so when my colleague that didn't know what I was wrestling with in my mind just told me, go because you want to pray to God. And meanwhile, I thought you're just coming to pray. I didn't know there was all that
Learning.
planning, what. Because I think time which I stopped to plan. Last year I didn't plan. I just said, God, I've tried. I've tried to.
I've hit that dead end.
Yes, I've hit that dead end. I have these structures in place. I'm
This
an
is
early
it.
riser. Yes. Like, I'm not even trying.
So I'm going to be here 2 years from now, laughing at you. I will even lift my leg and drink cold drinks. And I will be like, you know what? See what the Lord has done. See what the Lord, I will be here. The thing is, sometimes we never know where God is taking us. And God does not take us to places by coincidence. You're not here because you lack where to be. You are here because God wants you to be here. It's a training ground for you, for the visibility that is about to dawn on you. That you're going to do certain things without thinking that you even wanted ever to do them. But you will do them and they will happen and you'll be like, how did I end here? But God knows that there are people that you must touch. Their lives must be changed. And you can't just say, I love the smallness of things and the familiarity of things, and so I don't want to blow my cover and get out of my comfort. Sometimes, let me tell you, God is going to shake everything foundational in your life to show you that he can reorganize you into who he wants you to be. He will shake you to the core. And I have prayed for you that you will be restless, that you will be sleepless, that you will turn in bed, that you will not feel warm. Like, seriously, that is a serious prayer for me. That even if you slumber for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, one day you will find me. Ogamba mukazi oyo kale yandogera mu Katonda naye yandoga. This thing never went out of my head. Let's get up on our feet.
Thank you so much for that. I don't know what to talk about content creating, but I still think I have a journey I am walking with God.
Yeah, he will take you there slowly
I
by
don't
slowly.
think it's that place yet.
He does not rush. God does not rush. There are so many people here who told me the same thing, including Lavender. Including Lavender. That is in 2019? 2019.
Oh, and I'm the one that got the accident as upcountry.
Oh,
the border accident. So I was leaving the hotel. I was in a rush going to meet one of the clients, and I got the accident. I still have a bit of wounds because I resumed work today. And the wounds on
But
the
God
hands
spared your life, and we thank him for that. Yeah. So the morning prayers, and that day it was just a random thing, praying for people who are going to take borders. Sometimes we never pray about accidents and people that are going to move in vehicles, but we prayed. Like today, I mentioned about the healing of a psychiatric nerve. Yeah, and she testified and said that very morning she didn't even feel like doing it. Why am I saying it for you? Sorry, it was your sister. Yeah, so you see, and immediately she felt the relief, and we prayed that miracle be permanent in the name of Jesus, and we know that it is possible. So I just want you to lift up your faith, yeah? Lift up you know exactly where you are, and you know exactly where you want God to meet you. You know the tears that you're crying, you know the kind of heaviness that you're feeling, the fog that you feel in your life, but I want you to pray, and as you pray according to what we have talked about, when we talk about consistency, when we talk about all these things, it takes the Spirit of God to empower us. It's not by might, it's not by power, but the Spirit of God. And in the morning we read and say that by you, O God, we run through the troops, and by you, O God, we leap over the mountains. Some of these things, or the walls, some of these things look like walls that are very big and very fortified, and we can't just leap over with our own capacity, our own strength, and our own experience. So just lift up your voice as you pray. Lord, I thank you for every man and woman in this place. We are not here by coincidence. We are not here to pass time. We are not here because we've come to see someone. We have come here because there is something that you're building inside of us. You are teaching our hands to fight. You are teaching our lives. You are strengthening our feeble limbs. You are teaching us to pray. You are teaching us how to plan. You are teaching us how to be diligent. You are teaching us to cast our bread on the many waters, and after many days it shall come to us. You say that you cannot be mocked, that what we sow is what we reap. We are sowing learning. We are sowing being mentored. We are sowing planning. We are sowing execution. We are sowing showing up every day with our imperfections, with all our failures, with all our setbacks, with all our scattered minds, with all our unseriousness, with all our rejection, our abandonment, our trauma, with all the loss and the grief. We have shown up, and we know that you are the one that binds up our wounds. You are the one that heals us. You are the one. We want to abide under the shadow of the Most High today, that even as we tackle all these things, even as we go for the greatness, even as you say that you knew us before our paths were woven together in the sacred places, that you predestined, you actually consecrated us, you assigned us. There is a purpose. There is something that is on the depth of everyone, a gifting, a calling, a purpose, and I call it out right now. I call it out in the name of Jesus, that they will have the power, the courage, the boldness to set it ablaze, to start on the projects, to write the books, to start the businesses, to build the brands, to build the homes, to get into the marriages and make them work, to parent their children, to create a happy life in the name of the Lord. For the enemy does not come but to kill, to steal, and to destroy. But you came that we will have life, and life in abundance. That's the life I speak over us. In the name of Jesus, the life of abundance, the life of thriving, that we will be like plants, the trees like we planted by the waterside. In the name of the Lord, we will bear fruits in our own season, not before, but in our own seasons, and our leaves will never go dry. We thank you, Jesus, because you do everything in the perfect, you make everything perfect in its time. And I know that this is the time for so many of us to rise and shine. For your glory has come upon us, and we've been anointed to proclaim the acceptable year, to proclaim, to go with favor, to release the captives. That is the mandate you have given to us, and we are going to live up to it. You give us the strength, the boldness. We are anointed for the season. We are anointed for speed and for dominion, and we are not going to apologize. We are not going to shrink ourselves, and we are not going to hold back. We will open our mouths, and we will let you speak through us. We thank you, Lord, for the empowerment and the grace, the authority and the power. In the name of the Lord we've prayed. Amen. All right. Have a great night. See you again at the altar.
Hey Visionary! Accelerated Mentorship Program by Dr. Bahati Hilda Sabiti is here to help you unlock your next level of purpose, faith, clarity, strategy, confidence, and wealth. This 12 weeks self-paced course was created for you if you have a burning desire to build an irresistible brand, become a world-class speaker, entrepreneur who is ready to build and expand your brand, increase your impact, and triple your revenue. We have the School of Coaching, School of Leadership, School of Business, training you in personal branding, public speaking, content creation, digital marketing, confidence building, spiritual intelligence, emotional intelligence, relational intelligence, business growth, and character development. If you're ready to make the shift and experience unparalleled growth and stability, then this is your next step. We are located in Kamwalcha, Kira Road, Media Plaza, 3rd floor. Walk in or WhatsApp 0757 117 117.